Oh yes, and I like the part of the song that says, "Yes, what you bad video." Well, a pleasant good evening to all of you across Liberia. Liberia's premier talk show, Spoon Talks, is back. This is where you get the news, the updates, the analysis, the views. This is where you get to hear Liberians speak on the different issues of concern, be it health, education, politics, the environment, just anything you can think of. Spoon Talk brings it all to you in one full package right here on the Spoon Talk every single day. I'd like to welcome you to this edition of the program. My name is Nelson Colel, and the Spoon Talk is live across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5. We're live on Fabric Radio 101.1 and on several other frequencies across the country. Thanks to Voice of Liberia 104.1 for always relaying the program, and the host of radio stations across Liberia, and always make sure to bring to get the show relayed to all of you across the world, across the country. Spoon Talk is not just on radio, we're also online. That's why you can go to your Facebook right now, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, or Super TV, and watch us live. We're also live on YouTube. Our YouTube is Spoon Talk Live. I want to appreciate all of you joining us tonight. It's going to be a great show. A lot happening across Liberia. Spoon Talk is just all set to bring you all of those happenings here tonight. So kindly share the show as you join us. Share across your different social media handles, across Facebook, YouTube, your WhatsApp groups. Let's have a great show tonight. Philip Bala, thank you for joining us. Abel Sumo, we appreciate you. Da Moore, voice of Lawalazu, thank you for joining us tonight. I see Daniel Tente is joining us from his Tinkers Village residence. Thank you for joining us tonight. Joe Moba Koligbo. Koligbo. Yes. Koligbo. Yeah. Joe Moba Koligbo. Thank you for joining us tonight. My Esther Son SB, we appreciate you from Gay Town, Old Road. That's where you're joining us from tonight. We appreciate you for coming out. Theophilus Humor, thank you for joining as well. We want to appreciate all of you joining us tonight from across your different locations. This is Spoon Talk. And I want to welcome all of you tonight to this edition of the program. And it's going to be very, very informative. As we always do, we're going to make sure that you get the very best here tonight on this edition of Spoon Talk. We're going to go to the phone lines and take your calls. Yes, we're here from you, the Liberian people. You get to call in, say what's on your mind. What is that issue you want to talk about? Health, education, politics, sanitation, just anything that's of concern to you. The first segment of Spoon Talk, we get to dedicate it to you, our viewers, our listeners. So you get to call in and say what's on your mind. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here tonight. And then on the flip side, once the team come on, we hand controls over to them. But just before going to the phone lines, let me just bring you a bit of update here. Well, there's been a lot happening across the country today. The communication from the court putting a hold on the ongoing Yeke Koluba hearing at the House of Representatives. To the Senate as well. Senator Daba Vabla introducing a communication for concession agreements to be revisited. To a lot happening across the country. Senator Jala, Joseph Jala, Senator Councilor Joseph Jala introducing a communication on the floor today to cite the Inspector General of the Liberian National Police on the increase in the price of police clearances. And you have another issue at the Senate as well that has to do with some staffers of the Liberian Senate or the legislature pushing for the 100% salaries. They say they've been called back for the special sitting, and they're supposed to get 100% salaries. Why are they being told about 50% salaries? And that's another concern that some of the folks are having as well. Plus, a lot of other issues happening across the country. We're gonna have these conversations coming through here tonight, but you can keep sharing the program. Thanks to all of you joining us tonight, and we want to welcome you to this edition of Spoon Talk. We'll go to the phone lines. Take your calls 0555 Okay, so also the Liberia National Police has released the 20 students who were arrested following the violent the protest situation. The protest that turned out to be a violent one, resulting to the arrest of about 20 students. Those students have been released. The charges have been dropped as well from the angle of the Liberia National Police. So that is where we are with that. We'll go to the phone lines. Take your calls. 0555 is the number to call tonight. You'll be live. Let's take our first caller here. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel.
It's good to have you. And what's on your mind?
Yeah, what is on my mind is about our president. Is our President Bangura, who's all I have for the 2-year experience. But he experience that he told about the campaign time. All he experienced so negative experience.
Why you say so? Why do you think so?
Going backward instead of going forward. President Bangura is not doing well. Everything is damaged. You come to the judiciary, you go to the labor sector is damaged. The land mass, everything damaged.
Okay. Wait. Hello. Let's take the conversation small. You say the president is not doing well.
Yeah.
Why do you think? No, I'm coming now. Why do you think the president is not doing well?
Yeah, our president told the campaign that with the young people we are giving the opportunity to work in doing the job we are done for. We come to power 2024 up to now. We are young people. We are taking motorcycles and to be the major job in our country now. But our president told us you're going to make opportunity available for us, we are young people to get ourselves working, but they are not working up to now. The legislature, since I've been knowing myself, President Bangura, before in 3 years, we have impeached 2 lawmakers. The speaker, the former speaker, and now he's going to Yaya Koruba, where Yaya Koruba movie will not put prem.
You say the impeached are coming now. You coming conclude, but you say they impeached 2 lawmakers under this administration.
Yeah. One to get 2 are saying 2 because
okay.
The second person
who was the first person that was impeached?
Yeah, they want to impeach more
No, but Speaker Kofa was not removed. He resigned.
Yeah,
did you follow that?
The pressure of President Bangura, he carried lawmakers in hotel for money close to 1 year. He's feeding all that money used. When you're using that money, to put our money in our economy, but with the young people to get out.
Okay, thank you for your input. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your input. We appreciate you tonight for your contribution. But Speaker Kofa was not impeached. He resigned his position as Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, and we've now had 2 lawmakers impeached. Representative Yeka Kolba has not been expelled, even as we speak. There's a process going on, so I hope we get that information right. But keep your calls coming to 0555 and you'll be live on the program tonight. Hello, your name and where are you calling from? Let's hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is Oscar Zigwen.
Oscar, it's good to have you on. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Next thing what on my mind have to do with the rolling from Sekimpa to Ikepa. Next thing we will not have a company that taking millions of dollars from our soil in Nima. Then we don't have access to road from Senegal to Ikepa. So I want to call up the representative government officials who are responsible to to give good living conditions to the librarians, to see how best they can make sure that mentally focus on the role leading from Senegal to Ikepa. Next thing, it baffled me that when you leave from Senegal to Ikepa, if you have a car to go and come, when you come, you have to wash your car. It can be too molly. It baffled me. Two places for the billions of dollars leaving our country. And you can see the thing that carrying the iron ore, almost there was 90 buckets, but they're now recruited to 140 buckets. On a daily basis, they're taking the iron ore with some minerals from our resources, and we have no access to roads. So I'm called upon the government. Let us see reason to see how best they can be released to our people. The iron ore is leaving the soil.
Okay.
100 years from now, no iron ore. So we cannot have that road to be in a difficult condition. I'm begging the
Thank you
government.
for your input tonight. We appreciate you, this person. Keep your calls coming to 0555-101075, and you'll be live on the program tonight. This is Spoon Talk, and you can call the numbers to put your points through. 0555-101075. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Nothing for that. I have family along with you.
I'm okay, sir.
Thank you for having me. My name is Abraham Keita. I'm calling from Broadway.
Keita, what's on your mind?
I have two things on my mind, but one is about we the job of Liberia right now. There's a former the government of Liberia made to the Ministry of the Liberia National Police concerning we the job. The information come to us and said that any job that going to New York or New York going something your job, you should go with your driving document.
When you're going to do what? When you're going, you said something. When you're going to do what?
You're going to renew your license.
Your driver's license.
Yeah.
You should go with what?
Going for new license now. If you want to go to apply for license,
yeah,
you must go with your driver's certificate, your driving certificate.
From the driving school you graduated from.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not everybody within the country have that the driver's certificate, because
a certificate from a driving school. You think not everyone have it
in the country? They learn by friends and they learn by family. They don't go to driving school, and most of the schools in the country, that self-support school, most of them drop. They have to get out lessons.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you subscribe to the idea that every driver, before you hit the road, you should go to a driving school? Do you subscribe to that idea?
I 100% back the government of Liberia for that.
So why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important?
The reason is, whenever the state is addressing, it can come to civil war, right? And also for civil war. So we learn.
Let's leave a civil war. The civil war not connected to the thing here. Why do you think drivers going to driving school and getting a certificate from there before before hitting the road? Why do you think it's important?
Yeah, what I try to say is not everybody go to driving school. Yeah, not everybody go to driving school. Now, if you're trying to follow the measure, the front here, now on anybody that can apply for driver lessons, you can come with your driver document, your certificate from the school. But now we are way back now. Our need in the system and the demand offer. Then how will we register we have to renew our lesson, and we don't have school knowledge of school, and we learn. I can say speed learning about doing everything.
All right. So maybe they want a certificate. So even if you do your street smart, go to the school. There's nothing wrong with going back to the school. It will always be a refresher. Even in other countries where the people learn plenty of book, they can always do periodic training, so that they refresh themselves. So maybe you gotta go by that 6 weeks here, or maybe 4 months.
Yeah, okay,
let's say 4 weeks and just
that
do
that money required.
That money.
Okay, I don't get $80 for my to renew my lesson. $80. Then if you start to go back to the school, and you're going back to the school, it's not $80 you're going to pay. And now If you're going back, you already know how to drive already. Then we want to school accept you.
No, that's not.
Do.
No. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. But you know the thing is, let's assume you've been driving since 1947. Your friend carrying on the football field. They taught you how to drive, and you say you drive. Now you go, you get a lesson. Going to the driving school, you always learn something new that you didn't know or you didn't learn from that friend who carried you behind the hall to teach you how to drive. So don't you think this is a good approach? That's a question I'm asking.
Yeah, okay. We agree, right? Because a lot of process now going on the national media where we want to see they teach you how to drive. But the what I'm testing on is that we about the driving school, trying to talk about we are back. Out of school, some people go to the driving school and the school not existing. And they don't have access
but they get a certificate.
That certificate. Then why would because of them? Don't forget about me now. Those are in the went to driving school during the 80s, during the 90s, 2005, and the school not existing. How would they get a certificate? And someone that has certificate in horse brand.
All right, okay. Yeah, so yeah, anyway, that's a great concern. But thank you, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your input tonight. Hope the authorities listening and they can take some necessary actions. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you. Yeah, hello.
Thank you. My name is Liva Seni, and basically I'm calling for Chicken Soup Factory.
Liva, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, why is on my mind, Nelson? I listened to the president today when he returned from Ethiopia. The statement the woman made, I'm confused. That things that never happened before in life were expected to be happening. So meaning, he is telling us the same scenario that took place during the representative, the former speaker issue, while the cooking man said he came to the court and you could rule out that the speaker was saying the speaker was the speaker, so they should go by and do the restful thing. And in that he said that he was dealing with quorum. So maybe the issue of Yaka call back because he didn't want that back to section 10-day sitting. So that is a case. Even if the Supreme Court comes tomorrow to say again, the Omer is telling us that he is going to turn the court issue down, upside down again. Is that the experience you brought to us, especially school? Because those days, you people were fishing experience the Omer has made for the 2 years. But for me, the experience like somebody who who have no experience because the Omer is a disappointment. Sometimes when he speaks, he don't speak like a my brother. I'm so sick. If I have money, I will leave the country. I will leave the back and leave the planet. I feel something because the experience is so very narrow.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm William Bro calling from
Okay, what's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. What on my mind is have to do with the proceedings of the present government when it's come to our legal aspect of the country. This government who came on the market of being a government to rescue the people of Liberia. But when you notice, since the essence of government, our laws in this country are being abused. The legal of our countries are being abused. Liberia is one of the countries now in the neighboring countries now who they don't respect the rule of law. The first thing it happens when it happens on the issue that have to do with the former speaker of Kofa, we saw the attitude in the behavior of our president when the Supreme Court came up with a ruling and the president made us understand that he did not respect the rules of the Supreme Court and he said she was dealing with where he get the majority. That alone was a slap in the face of our judicial status.
Okay.
Today, again, we see another proceeding that have to do with Yeket Koruba. When they say you are invited to come for a year with your lawyers, automatically when the host invites you, or even the police, it means that you are going through a trial. So in trial, your lawyer has to represent you and speak up. This is my first time to hear that your lawyer appears, then you send the lawyers will sit down. the hard consultation with the man, be whispering in the man ear, and be talking. My first on the city council happening. If you the next thing, if you touching the man for a while, for treason is not a legislatures to want to include treason or to investigate treason. Treason on our law, we have to do what the judiciary, we have to do this. The court have to investigate treason matter because we have to do treason, not the legislature.
Thank you.
That's the main for treason. Then you read the legislature, you come in. What? There is no rule, there is no law that is supersede the Ugandan law of our country. We have to do the constitution. That's how we read the horse separate law. The law cannot supersede the law of our country.
Thank you very much for your input, sir. Let's hold you there and take another person. Hello, your name and where you joining us from.
Thank you very much, brother. Next, in Stilo in Liberia, and good evening to my spoon family, and good evening to my fellow Liberians on Radio Land this evening. The name remains constant. Epanso AF Kamal this great evening. Let me strictly go to the issue confronting me tonight, and how to deal with a big mountain issue in
the what County. Issue? What kind of issue?
The mountain issue.
What kind of mountain?
Grand Cayman County.
What thing happened in Grand Cayman County?
Okay, thank you. Let me learn my thoughts. You see, the issue about the mountain in Grand Cayman County, the saga in our country. Let me tell Liberian people, Mother Sally and Joseph Nima Boakai brought this company in this country in 2013 as tend to be corrected. And then the company sent a ban in this country and specifically in Grand Cayman County. People of Grand Cayman, the Caymanians are not benefiting in Liberia at large. And because it's a deal that Joseph Nima Boakai made with the company before coming in, because at that time, he was the presiding in the parliament, and the chairman was who? His son, Shekanske Massacre. And tomorrow today, he was the chairman on Ways and Means of this company. So the company is a cahoots. Let me tell Liberian people. See, 2023, this company donated 20 vehicles to this government today. We are seeing Alexander opposition. And tell me, nobody did something without getting anything in reward. And then, when Joseph Nima Boakai became president, 2024, January 22nd, the king of private jet, he is flying and flew all around the world with his private jet. Liberia is being sold by Joseph Nima Boakai on the power, and some of all we are knowing.
Alfonso. Hello. So if you can listen now, then maybe I'll let you go. Franso, can you hear me? You know, sometimes that is seen talking some kind of way made investigating plenty lawmaker. When you say Liberia being sold by President Boakai, what do you mean? What do you mean by the president now said the country?
Happening on the watch of Joseph Nima Boakai is illegal. The Papa is not talking.
What are the things that are happening? What are the things that are happening? Now, listen now. What are the things? Okay, sorry. I'll have to let you go. You know, this airwave is delicate. It's very powerful. So when you come in here with information, let your information be correct. You know, we already seeing what's happening here with lawmakers being investigated for comments they made, about some things in the country, to the point where one of the lawmakers had to apologize after saying that AI, you go by, he apologize, say the thing I say and not true. So when you're coming to make your point, there's golden opportunity that's been provided by the Spoon Network for you to remain in your home wherever you are and talk to thousands of people across the world, not just in Liberia, but across the world. Let's make the most of it. Let's not just use it to say anything anyhow. I hope we can do that. 0555101075. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
My name is Guano. I call from Soul Clinic.
Guano, let's hear you. What's on your mind?
What on my mind has to do with our president.
Okay.
He speaks in a way that always bringing controversy. That's the reason why. As a president, 80 years experience, and everybody alluded to and chose you. You go, domination is going on, and then people chasing are outside. You go, you stand there, and you see there is God is not making new life. You see. So today again, he came from Ethiopia. Look at what he's saying. He's saying that he's not going to participate into the, because the journalist asked him, he said he's going to participate into what is going on into the House of Representatives, because there are separate branches of government, 3 separate, equal and separate branches. You will wait until the whole thing escalates again, then they start consulting. You will say that something is separated. Not going to what will far is me. Then when you get to set problem, then you stay there, you go say there that holy God, that holy against this thing. So the problem has always been this old man here who Stanton told us to vote for, that he got this experience, 100-year experience. You see? So I just want to say that to close the House of Representatives, James Colette is saying that they got our own rules. But you see James Colette quoting the organic law of the Republic of Liberia again, instead of quoting his own rule in the House. So where are we today?
So in conclusion, what's your point, sir?
So my point is the problem in the House does not have to be exported, and Yege Koluba should be giving his time quote. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
Yes. Hello, Nez.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, this time
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, nursing, when Spoon provide us the opportunity to air our views, some people want to make use of it. You see, a person who talking about it, I know you very well. And let me remind, anything that you will say, you will get account. We'll point out, we'll show you people. When you make anything against the government, in our right, you'll be invited. I know you very well. Anything about the president, we'll put out your one. I know you very well. You trust you. I get my mind.
Yeah, please go ahead, caller. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening. Good man. Yes. For the recognition. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. You are live. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I'm Fasu Command. I'm the national chairman of the Unity Party Intellectual Bureau, a civil rights think tank that speaks on diluted power. What has to do with 20 issues. I think the 20 issues is about Yeke proposed a portion on the 53 legislature assembly. The legislature assembly. Honorable Yeke Koluba, public officials who is benefiting on taxpayer high-end resources. So when you are benefiting from people, we expect you to conduct yourself in a honorable manner. Hello?
Go ahead, sir. You're live.
Yeah, in a honorable manner. But sadly or regrettably, this man conduct over time fall below the belt. So what benefiting of public of a public servant? We cannot be paying you over 8,000 whooping United States dollars. And then your conduct run contrary to what befitting of a public servant. He utterance for our country national security at risk. And we have a lot of people who put our country in harm's way. We're another country. We are Guinea. We are laid side by side for over hundreds of years. In fact, the issue of cross-border trade, economic activity have been booming between the two countries. Intermarriage has taken place. So that singular state may have the proclivity to cause tension between the two countries.
Okay.
So, hello?
Yeah, hello. Go ahead. Just conclude.
Speaking. So I think the decision emulating from the 55th legislature. I think whatever decision will be taken against it as a proponent of good governance and support it highly. We don't need people who are nuisance when it comes to public service to occupy positions. And Honorable Yakia Kolba is just one of those. Offer to support it wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your input. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you. We lost that person. 0555-101075 is the number to call. Hello, let's hear you. Good evening. You want to be all the way a bit? You're coming in very low, sir. Okay, we lost that person. Let's see if we can take this one. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, Nancy.
Yeah. Good evening.
Let me say good evening to the peace-loving people of Liberia. My name is Prince. I do call you from 540 residence.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Nancy. I got two things on my mind this evening. One had to do with President Bangura need to focus on the Liberian people, how to rescue the Liberian people. Because he told the Liberian people that you are coming to bring change. He told the Liberian people that the Liberian people were suffering. He was a rescue team. So he focused now on the Liberian people from rescuing him and he calling the legislature back.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, this is David King.
Oh, David King of the Response and Defense.
Chair of Operation Concern Liberians for Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were saying something.
I said you the chair. You one of the folks from the Response and Defense team, right?
Nothing. Why you think about the response thing? We are not responding to defend anything right now because our government is not in power.
Oh, okay.
And some of those things that we defended yesterday, it was a fact. Okay? I just laugh at the other guy. When did they get to know that Yeke was speaking loosely? When they were cheering Yeke yesterday. But today, because he criticized about Yeke, he said, if you are coming here to vote for me, and you think that our cousin Georgia, when Joseph Walker do the work, I will even cause him more than what I see to Georgia. And today Yeke is doing that. And somebody get and say, Yeke threatening national security. The people who threaten national security are present in John and the people who got involved with the water, and today Guineans are on our side. From the time Liberia as a republic, we have never have our square mile reduced under no president. It is this president, Joseph Bangura, who has reduced Liberia for the 3,000 square mile, is now occupied by foreign forces. So if we are talking about issues in the country, I don't think our guys are up Dugo and the funeral who is talking the way they are talking, but we want to see them in this clear clear manner that what they are doing today, they are made Liberia to become a failed state because there is no law and order in this country. we go back to the Taylor day, the Taylor era, where there was no justice, where things were just helped us kind of today. Listen to the president when you were asked by John at the airport. He said things that are never happy, people were happy. Okay? So that is to tell you that we are going even worse than the Taylor day. That's what the president means. So for us, Liberians who are concerned for justice, will continue to call on the Bwaka to do the right thing. It's not a bad thing that Liberian people should rescue him instead of him rescuing Liberia. Because today, the Bwaka, when he comes to make clothes and comes to make clothes, he had never done that for the 2 years. But we gave him the presidency now. He's doing everything customer. And this is our concern. If you came here to come and rescue, or according to you, instead of rescuing the Liberian people, we are living in the dungeon of poverty, where people are walking and begging people to the street like black people. This is the kind of Liberian people of Mr. Bwaka. For me, I am not surprised. I knew that you could not provide leadership. If you could not provide leadership for the CPP, then like a country that is put in charge of Mr. Bwaka, you think like bro get anything better? Bwaka cannot lead CPP. Bwaka cannot lead CPP. Can he lead Liberia? He can't.
Thank you very much for your input.
Help us cut off like this. CPP or help cut off. They go Jobly or uranium go with coming and keep Bwaka in the dog.
Thank you very much for your input tonight. We appreciate you. 0555-101075 is the number to call, and you'll be live tonight. Hello, your name and where are you joining us from? Let's hear you.
Good evening, Nazim.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My name is Prince Toba. I call you from Johnsonville. My point got to do the land in Lofa. I want to know if the Guineans are still on our land or are they live already. That's the point. Thank you.
Okay. Great point. Hello. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Yes, sir, I'm okay. It's good to have you.
Yeah, I called this evening to lay my contribution. I think if people want to impeach Yeke Kodaba, I don't think that ever works. There will be some reconciliation that will be had and morning. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I even listen to small model but three representing saying according to him saying opting for 6 months special for Yeke Kodaba. I listen to him on OPFM. So I don't think those who are thinking that Yeke Kodaba should be impeached. I think those who should be impeached, those who are already keep to the House of Parliament they are the president and the speaker. The speaker got married to him. According to him, got married to his own sister. The president went and the president mentioned he fabricated story in his sooner. So those are crimes that should go and punish about. So just want to move power to him. So let it be let Yeke alone. Thank you.
Thank you for your input tonight. 0555-101075. Hello.
Hello, boy.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Ali Dixon calling from Kawa.
Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Use our country money the way you see. You impeach your call back. When you impeaching,
who the y'all need talking to now?
The lawmaker there. Because they listening to school and I was speaking like that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your advice to the lawmakers. Hello. Yeah, hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Okay, I think the question, the statement the fellow made, there was a real statement. You use the country money and impeach Yeke Kodaba. That would be good for you. To be very frank, I'm disappointed at you when you sat on the studio and somebody tell another caller that whatsoever statement they made, they will be looking for them. They know they will show them. The Constitution of Liberia gave us freedom. And so when you sit in studio, because yesterday your station was used, and anybody that want to say they want to criticize or Bwaka, you will cut them off. But when they're talking something that have to support Waka, you will not do it. So we know, just want to let you know that
hello.
That's not election time.
Hello.
The one you did 2023 is not election time.
Hello.
You got to be professional and be
hello. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Also, you call the toilet when you go. You know, but honestly, we as journalists, we are built for criticism as much as the journalists who report on different issues and push the feet of government to fire. You are at liberty to criticize or critique what we do as well. But to that statement, the gentleman, an individual called earlier and made a statement. Another person called and said, if you make statements that go against the peace or stability of the state, or just in that context, I'm just trying to summarize it. If you make any statement that goes against the peace and stability of the state, if there's a need for investigation, you will not hire, say, we will show you, I know you. So whatever that are you disappointed in? But again, I respect the fact that we'll always have different views about issues. That's democracy. And thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts here tonight. We appreciate you a whole lot. Keep your calls coming to 0555-101075. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. I'm Abraham and I call from Booster Island.
Abraham, let's hear you. What's on your mind?
One of our sick men recently described the police as MOS. I'm not saying Ministry of Finance. I'm saying military oppressive force, meaning Gestapo. And that person is Sam Jackson. The police is indeed behaving like a Gestapo. We say crack down on students. You could see the female students. We are not violent. And they were breaking that lady. Shooting tear gas. The same thing they did with grade school students. Is this the only way to disgrace demonstrators? It's so appalling. So they have become a Gestapo. That agree with Samuel Jackson. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. You're live on the show. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's incorrect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. I'll get to them on my quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the person going to do it. I listened to the afternoon. I listened to one senator saying that you get a waste of money, the country need money. It's also laughable to see people that Senator McGill. Wow, nothing to say. McGill, you are there a few years ago as a chief of staff for the president. In the president's office, the president was sitting Josh. And the sitting senator made you a Josh. Today, in one way in Ghana or the by election year, he was there, he was senator. Senator. What last McGill knows about money? If the people have to tell you, let me get a police. Hey, wrong, do you benefit it? But you put them on yellow. Someone tell about someone property and you don't call and get the people jobless, people suffering, people, yeah, though. Yeah, at least about your income of disabled people. They get a bomb and get a tube, not in the passage yet. You can see development growing up the country, not in the passage.
Thank you. Thank you for your input tonight. We have to hold you there. Let's take the next person. Hello, you're live on the show. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how are you, Nathan?
Yeah, good. It's good to have you on. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Okay, Nathan, you know, my uncle Joe Bakai pushing their country in different direction. The Prophet spent 6 years causing President William's mother, father, and vice president. One day, Prophet did not go to jail. Yeke Kolba spent 6 years causing President William's mother, father. One day, with President William did not expulsion. We talk about expulsion. The common statement Yeke Kolba made. they say it's a security threat, is a breach of the code of conduct. Then I agree. You expose, you do like expect Yeke Kolba. Then after the regime finish, next government, any opposition to anyone say whether it be security threat or not be security threat, next government also will say that this is a security threat. Then they will talk to the lawmaker to remove them. So it will not be no opposition in the country.
So let me ask you a quick question. Are you in support of the very things you just mentioned? Maybe Representative Yeke Koluba insulting, Perfect Key insulting. Do you support that?
I'm not supporting insult language.
Okay, so if you don't, no, I'm coming. I'm coming. Hello. No, I'm at controls. So if you don't support insult languages, why are you against a decision or an action being taken at this time?
Because if the statement Yeke Koluba made, if it are treason, if it are breach of contract, then let me invite the Minister of Justice and the police to investigate them and let me go through the court.
Okay, so you think it shouldn't be the legislature taking this action, but it should rather be from the Ministry of Justice?
Legislature cannot investigate a criminal matter. This is a criminal matter. This is a treason.
Are you aware that the House has its own rules? Like you have code of conduct for officials of government in the executive. There is the House's rule as well. And that rule, when a member of that body violates or does something that goes contrary to that rule, there's a committee there to investigate them. Are you aware of that?
According to them, the statement Yeke Koluba made is a national security threat. It's not breach of the rule. It's a national security threat. Then national security should investigate the man. If the found probable cause, they should charge the man, send it to the court.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your input. Okay, just conclude.
Let me conclude. Let me conclude. And let's see.
Yeah.
You see, for me, I am supporting expulsion of Yeke Koluba. The reason I am supporting expulsion of Yeke Koluba because I want this government can get more enemy. I want the government to fail, and I want the government to get more opposition.
Thank you very much for your input tonight. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you. I mean, your phone is not. You want to change your location?
I'm Jamil Jackson Smoke.
Jamil, your phone is not okay. There's some sort of distraction in the background. Hello. Hello.
Nelson, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. It's good to have you on. Let's hear you.
My name is Daniel Philly, and I call you from district number 10.
Daniel, what's on your mind?
You see, I normally can involve myself into certain people's sentiments, but I think other people who know that Yeke Koluba is in error, and he was in error from the onset, and he didn't apologize, and he always say that.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
And he
caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Caller, please go ahead. I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah, okay. So Yeke Koluba was in error. He failed to apologize to the House and his family. And this thing is not about the country, whether security threat and stuff. But if he go against the rules in the House, so the House have to take action. So you come in on a certain sentiment that the House not supposed to take action on in fact security threat or treason or whatever. Look, like let me just tell you now, Yeke Koluba should be a step from the House, and you should support it because our children can listen to radio these days, and some of the things Yeke Koluba can be saying, they are not things that our children will be hearing, right?
Okay.
He's not setting precedent. in when it comes to law making.
Thank you.
Koloba can just make noise.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's hold it there. This person. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
I'm Joel calling from GA.
What's on your mind?
Yes. Well, while I see the country, we are using only two signs for mathematics. The division sign and the subtraction sign. But the multiplication and the addition, we throw it aside. So we're only using that two signs. And it will come to the addition and multiplication. We keep on division and subtraction. We will always find ourselves into negativity.
Okay.
So then, if we come back to ourselves to take the sign of addition and multiplication, then of course we will be on the right track to carry the country forward. But since we divided and subtracting, we will not make it.
Thank you.
Twice to come back to addition and multiplication. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input tonight. Let me take this person from the WhatsApp. Hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, hello, Nancy.
Hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how you doing, man? This is Lincoln Garcia. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Lincoln, please go ahead. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what is on my mind is that you see our country, we as Liberians, we are our own problem, you know, because we speak both sides of our mouth. You understand? You see that if you look at our society today, something that was happening yesterday, everybody was rejoicing. But today it's not in their favor, so it's bad. Where are we going? We need Liberian prayer, my brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Maybe you need to be part of that prayer band to get the prayer working very well for the country. Hello.
Hello, good evening, nothing correct.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, man, you experience the common you have really not calling my pin.
Go ahead, Cesar.
Yeah, nothing. Let me say good evening to us and the person to say my balance. Mr. President, thank God you can save it and thank God for your safe travel and your safe return. Nothing correct, the opposition, the government in a lot of problems. The laboratory management, they want to sign up for 25 putting on the government problems. Then they go to the beer market again, 2023 in rush. They want to get the people 25-year contract again. When Labrona benefiting anything today, the people in Kmon suffering for running water, the people just acting wicked to the people in our Kmon area. Who they want to set it for that campaign again, that had to go sign our contract in rush in speed, 25-year contract there. For the Kmon people to benefit and leave their company when nobody come there, contract can be terminated. And when terminate our contract, you know, Labrona let it lay out the contract. And you can be part government, living power, and can go stand contract, book or contract, that live on the next government are coming to put in permit. And President Bogaya for 11 people. And I want to tell the president, thank you to Mr. and bravo to the mayor or the mayor, Raul S. Second. Thank you. The director of state police, thank you, director for your hard work. At least, red light, so they will see the people coming up over the street. Thank God, at least honor the government.
Thank you.
People can take photo all over. So
thank you for your input. We appreciate you, sir. Hello. Yeah, hello. You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is the marriage. No, what people will call on the radio, we don't have anything to say. They just talk, or because they want to be here. Why you get there, you get across the red line, you get sell for his survey. The pay is forgiving. And before you get to office as a representative, you told, to defend the sovereignty of this country. Is that the president want to say? Other people that run for position of representative, Nathan Mange, that how he will defend the country?
Okay.
You get caught. When you get caught in here, nobody tells you it was eternal matter. But what he did, and not eternal matter. Another country attacking your country. Then you say that, you say what?
Thank you for your input. We appreciate you.
From the hog, man, he's not the only Liberian.
All right. Hello. Hello.
How you doing, Chief?
You're coming very low. Can you step up a
Yeah,
bit?
how are you? How you doing?
Yes, sir. We okay. Let's hear you.
My name is Noah Don.
Noah Don.
Yeah.
Noah Don, go ahead. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my own take has to do with our lesson business and all that kind of thing. Well, that be fair, right? We like bring minute. So that thing where they say, oh, you gotta go to driving school to bring certificate. If you're 50 years old, where you going to your driving school certificate from?
Is there a specific age range that is qualified to attend a driving school?
You know what?
Do you have to be of a particular age to go to driving school, or to maybe do a refresher in your line of work?
I asked that a question because some people went to school way in the 50s. So you graduated doing the 50s and you driving. You have no different job that you're doing besides driving. Must you go back to school to pay different money? Suppose sitting down to the house, they even got work doing.
But it may
go back.
Okay, conclude on that. Conclude on that.
No, you are saying.
So, in conclusion, what's your point, sir?
Yeah, my point is, why would they decide to say that you should go to school and get driver?
Certificate from a driving school. You should go to driving school and get a certificate before getting a license.
Especially the old drivers, and it's being unfair to us and unjust.
Oh, you're one of the old drivers.
Yeah, now old man.
So wait. Let me ask you. No, now tell me now. How long you been driving for? How many years you've been driving for?
From 1992.
From 1992. So the time you learn how to drive, that driving school you went to, or somebody took you to the football field and just learn how to drive there?
Nobody went to the football field.
So how you learn how to drive?
I went to school from Banga. One time they doing they used to do Larico.
So where Larico certificate at?
But you know how many years war fought in the country?
so the war carried Larico certificate.
To our houses, everybody ran away. You do your thing, we come up looting enough.
But do you think it would be a bad idea? Do you think it would be a bad idea for you to maybe go back to the driving school, refresh, learn some new things about the traffic, and get a certificate before getting a driver's license? You think it would be a bad thing?
So you think it's fair enough, right?
No, I'm asking. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
But let me put it instantly. You step into your house, right? You can get a little small job and then you go a little contract where you can even be your family. When you get money to go back to the driving school, you will pay $150 to get your to get a certificate.
Okay.
You know, when we're talking these things, right? Let's be fair as Liberian people that everybody that in the country is struggling. The whole country is on strap.
But you think if they bring the price down, you think it'll be a good thing for you to go there? Maybe they say all the old drivers, since you've been driving before, your price will be, you'll pay half the price. You think it'll be a good idea?
You think that what they will do?
No, I'm asking, what if it's done that way?
Yeah, I'm very sure that what they will do. Now we just said now where we go.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for your input. Yeah. All right, so Dr. Bopler is joining us very shortly. He's gonna be coming in studio, get the show started while the CEO try to make his way. And
hello.
Yeah, hello. You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Edward Son. I call from Central Virginia, tax settlement. My brother, I just called the poll that's 0.2, and Nelson, I hope that you follow this thing, because sometimes we'll tell you. My brother, the Ministry of Education has a serious problem. They sent us to sign insurance to do the medical insurance. So, brother, 90% of the teachers are not benefiting from the side insurance. I really, really want you to call the minister or some of those guys on your show so that you can ask them. Because the point here is that you give the medical card. Then you set up another bureaucracy. I should get medical slip. When you want the medical slip, you call the DO of it and say they only give them 20 or 25 medical slips for a whole education district, my brother. The project is our money free without benefiting from the medical slip. Sometimes, and for me, sometimes one of my friends have to tell me I have to leave from Simple, Virginia to go all the way to Congo Town to get one area there to get a medical slip. It's wrong. Spending all time. And you cutting my salary every month.
Thank you.
People are a bunch of wicked and cruel people, man.
Thank you for your input. Thank you for your input.
There's no need of me going for medical slip again. They just created a bureaucracy just so we can benefit. So nothing. I'm putting this out to you guys. Beg you guys, call some of these ministers and tell them that this is what the teachers are saying. They are not benefiting from the medical slip. The medical insurance you put them on. The people just eating our money.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry we'll have to hold you there. We'll have to hold you there. Thank you. That's a very great concern, but we'll have to hold you there. I want to say thank you for your input, and thanks to all of you who called in, sharing your thoughts on the first segment of Spoon Talk. What's on your mind? Your points are valid. Your concerns are very important, and hopefully the relevant authorities have been following up and will do something about that. So I see Dr. Boble is here. Dr. George is here. And the former Secretary General of the CMC, Mr. Wilfred Bangura, is in studio. We understand he'll be coming on as well. But let me bring Dr. Boble on. Good evening, Dr. Boble. Can you hear me?
Nelson, I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Good to be seen, my friend. I tell you, I do not envy you, boy. The job that you have as a journalist is no small job, but you handle it well. People call, they say their own, and they want you to say your own. Then they hang up the phone, and if they say they're the only person should be heard. But you are such a professional, and I want to applaud you, my man, for the work you do. The fourth estate is critical to democracy and development. So Nelson, you do well. You and the crew, you do very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was listening to the calls, and that's one of the things I believe, Nelson, that makes Spoon, because Spoon Talk is the people's show. And the CEO say that all the time, the people's show, because it gives people a voice. And I was listening to the callers, and I'm thinking, this is an important opportunity. One, you get to speak, right? So you say what's on your mind. Two, you get to be heard, because when you're speaking on Spoon, thousands of people all over the place are listening to you. And when I say all over the place, I mean all over the place, all around the world, people are listening. And then three, you get to share your views. So now you are being heard. So it's important. The only thing we ask on Spoon is that when you come, be authentic, be yourself, but just be respectful, because all of this is supposed to be a constructive exercise, right? So that we move from problem to solution. And so Spoon provides that. So, man, congrats to you, the crew, the management, for this incredible opportunity. And to all the callers, keep calling and keep sharing the show. Keep sharing the show. We're going to build a better nation, all of us. One talk at a time, one show at a time, one view at a time. It's going to take all of us to make this happen. So keep doing that. So right now, as I'm talking, share the show so other people get engaged, other people get involved. Now, see, I don't believe we're taking calls from the U.S., right? We're just taking calls from Liberia tonight.
Yeah, the time is far spent. We've gone about an hour, a little over 1 hour, taking calls.
Correct.
But I see Dr. George is in the background as well.
Yeah, let's bring Dr. George on because we got a lot to talk about tonight. And I just wanted to hone in on the people's voices because I think that's important. If we're not hearing from the people, then how you would know what's going on with the people? And if you don't know what's going on with the people, Dr. George, welcome. If you don't know what's going on with the people, then how you will be able to create an agenda for the people? So this is such an important exercise. This particular talk show is critical to national development. So glad to be a part of it, Dr. George. Good to see you tonight, my friend.
Good to see you, Dr. Broblem. And you're right. You're very right about the voice of the people. There's an opportunity for the deputy minister and information to gather information and share with the rest of the policy makers, because people are expressing their opinion, their views about what is going on in the communities, what is going on in the society, and it's important that we all listen to it. And through that, we develop policies that will affect the people directly.
Right.
So it's a great exercise, and I'm glad that they can express their view. Even in the evening, I spent time reading the chat, the chat from Facebook and YouTube, reading the opinions that people are sharing, a point of view on issues, and sometimes you get great information reading what others have to share.
Yeah, you're right. Great information, great insight. Nobody has a monopoly of wisdom. I think it's spread all over the place. Our experiences, they're diverse, they're many. So for me, like you were saying, Dr. George, for me, I read the chat all the time. But you can't keep away most time because it's just scrolling. People hitting it. But I try to capture it as much as possible because you learn a lot from people out there. You hear from them. And tonight, I want folks to keep writing in the chat, especially our folks outside the country. Keep weighing in on the issue. We'll grab that from the chat every now and then. Share your views, ask your questions. We'll try to respond to it. Fubi, welcome. From the legendary Henry's family. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you. Look forward to a good show tonight.
Yeah, yes, sir. So let's talking about the show. The calls were mostly about Omba Yeka Koluba's situation, and there's some new developments around that. So I want us to go there. The president came today. In fact, I was on the road when the president was coming. So like every other citizen, what you have to do when citizen number one is coming. You got to pull over and wait until citizen one rolls by. So I was almost home and citizen one was coming. I pulled over, I waited. But before he got to my junction, he spoke at the airport. And of course, the big issue was the Yeka Koluba that asking question. I want Nelson, I know, can you pull that clip? I want us to play that clip so we listen to what the president had to say regarding Yeka Koluba's situation. Are we able to pull that up, Nelson?
Definitely. Let me get this up here.
Okay.
The expulsion of a certain lawmaker, Yeka Koluba. There are some citizens who believe that this never happened previous administration, therefore it should not happen on your watch, given your experience in government.
There are a lot of things that never happened that will happen. As long as we leave things will happen. I am now in the legislature.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President.
That's the loudest we'll get. Could you guys hear? It was kind of low. Could you hear though?
No.
It was low. So the
Dr. Bopler, I'm gonna work on it a bit, and then I'll get it back up. Let me work on it a bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to set Mr. Bangura up. That's
okay.
That's why I'm in the background. But I'll get it done shortly.
Okay, so Nelson will pull that up because I want us to hear what the president said, going to ask him. about the Yeke Koluba situation. And you know, on my system, it was clearer, so I could hear him. But Nelson will pull it up so we all can hear it at the same time. But let's go back to Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe, what's on your mind tonight? Unmute yourself, Doc. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. One on my mind tonight is the wonderful message that Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings shared, talking about the concession issue and how and offering solutions that we can benefit from concession. We have the situation this week where we reported that the pro tem of the Senate was able to bag about 3-point-something million out of the Chinese, but yet we have a company in Cape County that is reportedly setting $1.6 billion worth of our goal every year, and the Liberian government appears to be getting only $40-something million of that. That what we're getting and what they're getting is chicken change, and it's important that we start to consider that. I think the population of Cape Town is 100-something thousand people. You have a company making $1.6 billion every year, but yet nothing significantly have changed in the life of the people of Grand Cape Mount County. So I'm thinking about that. Hopefully, voices like Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings will be heard, and people honestly we get to realize that the challenges we're going through in our country is man-made, and man can also solve those challenges. It's not from God. No matter, I know we're a praying country. We have a special day set aside to fast and pray. But Dr.
But federal work is there though. Exactly. Federal work is there though. So we pray, but then we gotta work and we gotta do the right thing.
Work, right? Yeah. They say what humanity can do, divinity will not do it. You know. So that's the situation we have. The Lord, the Almighty, have blessed us with a lot of things we need to succeed and to survive. Put us in a very rich country, but yet we are so unfair to ourselves. Some of us, because of the chicken change we get, we subject the rest of the population to the challenge that we live in. That's what is on my mind. And let me greet the Honorable Phoebe Henrich from Burkina Faso, and our viewers joining us on Facebook and on YouTube, and those who are listening to us on the radio and watching us on television in Liberia.
Thank you, Dr. George. Phoebe, talk to us. What's on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, so good evening to everybody. We look forward to a good show. Yeah, the trending topic with the whole expulsion saga, the Capitol building, the legislative House of Representatives, and to crown it up, the Supreme Court issuance of the stay order against the House of Representatives. I think the Supreme Court is overstepping her bounds, and the last time they did it with Buffer Chimo, when Buffer Chimo was speaker, they put that in a place. But this, the guy is saying Liberia, when you put yourself in tomato cup, they will teach you a broomstick. So when you have authority that given to you by the Constitution and you don't know how to exercise it, then the Supreme Court can be overstepping her bounds. The Supreme Court has no authority to issue a stay order against the legislature. You can invite for a conference, but you cannot issue stay order, and it was wrong.
I think it was effectively an invitation for a conference, which translation is really like a stay order. In other words, you don't do nothing yet until you can let's conference. So
yeah, they don't have the power to say. They can say come for a conference, but they can't say stop your work. They can't do that. That's crossing the line. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Okay, so that's a good point. Go ahead and finish, because I want us to put it up so we can read it, so listeners can hear it, people can see it. Back to your point about the Supreme Court intervention. But go ahead and finish your opening and action.
Like I advised, legal team yesterday, the issue at the House of Representatives, that number of games. It's not about how much legal knowledge you have, how many degree or what kind of grade you score at the law school. It's the numbers. So if you cannot get the numbers, I don't care what you do. The Supreme Court cannot overturn the decision of the House or the legislature. All the Supreme Court can tell you to do, like like you say, procedural error or so. If somebody slap you with a left hand, the Supreme Court will say, look, man, you're not supposed to slap with your left hand that your right hand is supposed to use. So go by and slap the nail with your right hand instead of the left hand that you used before. But at the end of the day, you're not changing anything. So it's a waste of time running to the Supreme Court for these kind of matters because you're not going to solve the problem. In a subordinate court, the Supreme Court can give a verdict and say that guilty verdict you pass is not involved. The guy is not guilty, and there's nothing the subordinate court can do. But in the case of the legislature, they're not under obligation to honor the Supreme Court opinion on their administrative matter.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Fubi. Let's welcome Wilfred Bangura. How you doing, my good friend?
It's a great pleasure to be on tonight, and I'd like to use this opportunity to greet Dr. George and Mr. Henrys. It's great to be on tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on, my man. You've been in the news quite a bit. People will start looking for you with a pen to get your autograph. All of a sudden, man, we talking about it. So you're here tonight. So tonight you can say what needs to be said, clarify what needs to be clarified, answer some questions around the moves of Wilfred Bangura, the whys and the where and all of those things. So it's good to have you on tonight. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brippler. Thank you very much. It's great to be here tonight. Thank you.
Great. Nelson, you got that.
Yeah, we are almost. It's almost done.
Okay. Okay. So let's move forward, and we'll come back. We'll come back to the Supreme Court thing and the intervention. But Honorable Wilfred Bangura is here. So let's hear from Wilfred. A lot's been happening. We've been talking. We read your statement, your letters, your why, and all of those things. So talk to us. Talk to Liberia. Talk to the public. Just share where you are, what's going on, and the whys. And I'm sure there will probably be some questions for you to answer. So let's hear from you. You're here. Let's give you the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Brippler. I'd like to state at the outset, my name is Wilfred Bangura, and I had the opportunity to work in the government during the last administration. Straight for 6 years. I served two ministers, Professor Tape and Madam Mwani G. Dix, as the DMA, as the Deputy Minister of Commerce and Industry. But even before that, I come from a small town in Nimba called Bapa. And I was born in Camp 4. I was bred on the poultry farm of my father, right behind the Reti Gate in Yekepa. And I went to Bishop Kara High School during my formative years, for secondary education. And there, I rose to the position of president of the student government as a Baptist student. The reason why I am isolating that event is because those days, it was very difficult for a non-Catholic student to rise to the helm of authority, helm of power, of student leadership. So we essentially broke the glass ceilings during our days there. And so we led well. We graduated there in 2004. Something very important happened during my stay in Yekepa in Nimba County. I can recall that my father established a club called the Friendship Club. It was established in 1995 in Era N, when we had left from our hometown in Bapa to live in the community. And that club today is still in existence. The rationale for establishing that club was to ensure that the economy of the community was upheld. His vision was that there will be life after the war. So during those days, my bedroom was the place all of the monies were kept. And those who are listening to me tonight from Yekipar, or some of them have moved either to Ganta, to Monrovia, and elsewhere, can bear me out on this account. So I was responsible for ensuring that more than $10 million every year that was disbursed at the end of the club year to the people of Yekipa. My duty was to ensure that that money was safe and it was safely kept, and I had the responsibility to even count them. One day, in 2004, there was rumor going around that one of the notorious generals of the former president, Charles Taylor, was going to be visiting Yekipa. His name was Young Blogbe. And when we were told that he was coming to Yekipa, a lot of people fled the community. There was panic. The community was in a panic mood. And my father was being threatened. And it was rumored that Young Blogbe had listed him. He was going to be a target because he was keeping the community money. My father left the community. He fled. I had the responsibility to ensure that I safeguarded the more than $10 million Liberian dollars that belonged to people of the community. And I can recall that I sat and thought about what to do. And then it occurred to me that I needed to go to see my former principal, Mr. T. Isaac Mambia, who was principal of Bishop Carroll High School. I went to see him at around 10 o'clock midnight, and 10 o'clock in the night, and I told him the circumstances that I had to move the community monies to the Catholic compound. I thought in my mind that normally during these periods of unrest or chaos, Catholic facilities were protected areas, and I was right. I went to see him, long mouth shut. I moved these monies to him, and I can remember these monies were kept and stored in the 9th B classroom until the end of that period. My father returned from the butch, and the monies were disbursed. The reason why this story is very important is to let you know that during my formative years, I have been taught how to uphold integrity and how to be disciplined when you are dealing with what belongs to people, what belongs to the public. I brought the same idea in public service when I served as Deputy Minister for Commerce or for Administration. There was not a single day I took a break from work or went for vacation or asked for a leave. I was always on time. I was always at work behind my desk because I learned public service. I learned dedication, commitment from my.
How did your behavior affect others in your circle? Did you notice that your behavior had an effect on people? In other words, you were on time. You were not taking day off. You were doing those things. Did it affect people, or
it
was
did.
you and everybody else doing their own thing?
It did, Dr. Ripley. I believe that there were other people who watched me, and today they are emulating some of those good examples. I know that Voice of Liberia used to visit various government agencies to find out who was on time, who was at work, and when they were there. And many times they came to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They would meet me there, and they would grant me an interview, and I would speak to them. So the records are public enough. The records are there. And so I served there. I worked with a lot of wonderful people in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And I can recall in 2023, there came a time when we were going to election. Everybody in this country knows that my political godfather was the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson. He brought me up, introduced me to politics, at least at the national level. And there was a decision that, we needed to resign from government and, run against the government, go against the government. And, I thought about that. I discussed that with my family, and I went back to him and told him that I thought that I wouldn't be a part of that decision because I was not convinced that the reasons given to me were not convincing enough. And I said that I was going to stay with the.
Explain that so our listeners can understand. You said there was a time when you were either told or urged or something to resign from government and run against the government. Explain that. Break it down so people understand.
Yes. So in 2023, when former President Weah was going for re-election, my former political godfather counted on me. I was Secretary General then of the MDR. He called us and he said that we needed to resign from the government and we needed to join the Unity Party campaign for to support the current president. At that time,
so you either resign just to support UP, or you are resigning so you yourself can run.
To resign,
Just some
not for me
office.
to run, not for me to run, but to resign from the government that I was deputy minister in, to resign from the government and to support the presidential bid of the current president, Joseph Boakai. And I thought about that, and I spoke to my family, and I said that the reasons that were given to me were not convincing enough. And I said that I was not going to resign, that I was going to remain with the government, and I was going to support the former president for his re-election. And so I stood my ground, and there were consequences to that decision. I got expelled from the MDR, and I was the founding secretary general of the MDR. Of course, I was the registered agent and one of the incorporators of the MDR. There were 5 incorporators: myself, the late senator, Madam Boydie Amira Johnson, Mr. Bufade Gbedia, and Mr. Jerome Barkley. We're 5 incorporators. So we worked very hard to establish the MDR, but I was expelled from my former party. But I took that in good strides and good faith, because I thought that a man must have conviction. He must have beliefs, something that drives him, something that he can defend, and something that he must be willing to sacrifice for, no matter what the consequences are. So we have a history of standing up for our beliefs.
Wilfred, let me hold you for a second. So you said you didn't resign because you didn't feel convinced that you needed to do so. Because truth is, you didn't have to resign just to support, the other thing. It was not a requirement. The requirement is, if you want to run for an office, then you need to resign a government job. You are not running for office, so you didn't have to resign. You could be in the government and support the other people. But you are saying you didn't because you believe in the campaign and the opportunity that was President Weah. Let's be clear on that, right? So you stayed with President Weah and you stayed with the government.
Absolutely.
Were you concerned that, listen, let me ask you, were you concerned that if you had started to support the Unity Party coalition, for example, that you would have lost your job in the process?
No, it was not about job. No, it was not about job. It was just about having certain belief and having certain convictions that you are prepared to defend and to upkeep, no matter what the consequences would be. So right. I'm always driven by my belief. I'm driven by my conviction, and I take very strong decisions, no matter what the consequences will be. So I'm alluding to these things to have the Liberian people informed that when I'm making decisions, I make decisions based on my conviction. I don't make decisions based on frivolous issues or pecuniary gains, but I make decisions based on what I believe in. Yes, absolutely. So I was just laying this basis, as a form of introducing myself to the public, that we have stood up for certain things we believe in. And I stood with former President Weah. We lost the election. Of course, I lost my job, but I took that in good strides, and we moved on. And I said, Dr. Brookler, that I helped to establish the MDR. I'm one of those who wrote the constitution of the party. If you saw the Constitution Committee, I was secretary of the Constitution Committee. And I said I was a registered agent of the MDR and one of the incorporators of the MDR. I got expelled by the MDR, and I took that. I was at peace with myself. I took that in good strides, and I allowed the dust to settle down. And so during the time or after the election, there were kinfolks and other people that I have worked with in the MDR who felt that it was the environment was somewhat hostile, and of course this is politics. If you do not work with people during election period, especially if you took your side during electioneering processes and you lost and they won, it's a winners take all system we have. And so, so we gave them the support for the background and we congratulated them. I remember I called the current vice president then, and I congratulated him, and I congratulated former Senator Johnson for the victory. So we started to move on, and I decided that I was going to move on with my life as well, but I was going to remain politically active. As you know, I have a master's degree in political science with specialization in international relations. So I'm a political scientist, so I mean, it's not going to be possible for me to be active.
Okay,
you know,
so appreciate that, but listen, I want us to move fast forward because we have a lot of questions and we have some other things. So I appreciate you giving us the background. Actually, it's enlightening things I never knew before. I really appreciate you for doing that. But let's move forward to this, the most recent situation. You stay politically active. You had an affiliation. You resigned from there. You move on. Talk about that, where we are now and why you are going the way you're going.
So I saw the politics of vulnerability. I visited District Number 7, and I saw the development works that were ongoing there. I saw that he had built bridges. I saw that he graded roads, and I saw that he was doing a phenomenal job. And I saw his posture on the national scene, and I really thought that such a person, has exemplified rudiments or requirements that he can be a great national leader. And so these projects he's doing, the philosophy that he has about governance, these things can be transcribed into a political movement and sold to the nation. And you can have people who believe in these concepts of leadership in terms of infrastructure development and investing in agriculture, et cetera, et cetera. You can have people who will gravitate to that call and rally around him and try to make this a national movement. Because the point at which Liberia stands right now, I'm convinced that a lot of people are becoming despondent about a lot of things. People want to see social progress. People want to engage into a kind of new politics. They want to have something different, not something that they have been accustomed to, over the past 10 years or so. So we decided that we were going to form a political party. So we had a conversation about that. I can recall that I listed about 20 different names, and the 21st name, I listed Citizens Movement.
Which party is that? Which party? You say
Citizens Movement for Change. Citizens Movement for Change.
Okay,
I'll
very
just
good.
give you the history of that. So we had our small meeting, and then I wrote Citizens Movement, and he said, Citizens Movement, it sounds incomplete. Citizens Movement for what? And then he said, for change. And so it caught fire. But let me tell you, Dr. Brookler and our panelists, that the CMC really started as Liberia's Farmers Party. That was the first name.
Liberia Farmers Party?
Farmers Party. That was the first name.
Oh.
Of the party.
Okay.
And
register name or just brainstorming name?
No, that was the name. That was the first name. Our conceptual notes. It started as Liberia's Farmers Party. But it did not really catch fire to us because we were looking at the population in the country. How many farmers do we really have? Because, if you say Farmers Party, the very first reaction would be that, okay, this party should belong to a certain group of people in a society. And if you say Farmers Party, but how many farmers do we have? So you were really trying to narrow, that means the party will be narrowed down to a very few group of people. But the philosophy of Farmers Party was born out of the ambition to ensure that we have this agricultural revolution across the country. Mobility was making some farm in the District Number 7, which was going very well. So it then occurred to us that, but this thing can be it can be carried out in the rest of the 73 districts. So that was the bedrock. That was the underbelly for the creation of the CMC. So it started as a Farmers Party, but because the name did not quite catch fire, we decided that we wanted to have it more inclusive, and then we came up with the name for the CMC, the Citizens Movement for Change. Started out as the Foreign Secretary General. So all of the essential paperwork that had to be written to the National Elections Commission, applying applying to the NEC for the formation of a political party, we wrote that. And then also I became one of the incorporators. So we are 3 incorporators of the party, myself, Honorability, and the current chairman, Mr. James Yogi. So I played this role quite fundamentally in showing that we brought this dream into reality. When we went to canvass in the 6 counties for membership, We went there on the basis, we told our people that we wanted to bring about agricultural revolution. We were interested in making farms in these districts, in the counties, and people were embracive of that new idea. It was something strange. It was something that they haven't heard of. They thought that by bringing in this program, of course, it's going to bring a lot of opportunities to them. They will have farms that they can work on, do daily labor work, or monthly labor work, and they will be able to earn a living from that. So they gravitated to this.
Bangura, I'm sorry, I really don't mean to interrupt you, and I appreciate all of the details of how the genesis of all of this. But we got a stacked show tonight, and we got a whole lot of other things we got to talk about. So we appreciate all the detail, but let's move forward, please. So you help. Obviously, you were a big part of the CMC, the construct, the genesis of it. But let's move now. Then you get to the place where you had to make a decision regarding the CMC and your next step. So let's fast forward there, please, because we want to ask you questions. The people want to ask you questions, and then we got a lot of other things we got to talk about tonight. So please, let's get to.
Thank you, Dr. Brookler. The reason why this historicity is very important is because when you have a party that veers off is founding or its foundational agenda, it becomes a matter of concern.
Okay.
The CMC was established to deliver a certain change to the Liberian people. So when you go to those counties where we went to recruit our first set of membership from to form the party, and we told them that we were going to be engaging in certain programs, certain social programs that would transform their lives. And you see the party veering off from that, it becomes a matter of concern.
So you're saying CMC is veering off from the original things that you agree on that the party will be about?
Absolutely. It puts the credibility of the party at stake. In national leadership, we need to be straightforward with what we say to the people of Liberia. They want change. They want genuine change. Genuine change is never born out of deception. You have to be factual, and you have to be exemplary in your leadership. So those people are still anticipating that we are going to make these farms. And the model for making these farms, we said that they will provide the land, and then we will provide the manpower and the seeding, and we'll make the farm, and then we will have a production sharing agreement. It could be on a 50-50 basis or on a 40-60 basis. However, the agreement will be, we stated clearly that we were going to give them, the opportunity. The other thing is that when you want to hold the government in certain standards, to a certain standard, you must also be prepared to hold yourself to the same standard. You cannot hold the government to one standard and then you practice a very opposite, standard that is completely different from that standard. What I mean is that we saw that our party was going about making lots of promises in terms of building roads.
You mean CMC now? You're talking about CMC?
Yes, absolutely, my former party.
Okay.
Building bridges, informing communities that we will build bridges and we will build roads for these communities. They came and accepted those promises with great hope. They were very happy that political parties were making interventions in these communities. But when we observed, I can recall that one of the clear examples of some of these promises is that there was a bridge in the Brooklyn community in Bond County, and you all on this show discussed that a lot. The government said that there was money for it in the budget, and there was a lot of back and forth on that project. I wrote a lot of letters on behalf of the party to the public works minister. In the end, the project was turned over to the party. Today, we boasted that we had 90% of materials to build the bridge. The question is, how far is that bridge today? The people were even threatening that they would be protesting because the bridge has not been built. My issue here is that I don't want to be a part of a movement that will make promises to people and will not keep those promises. So the credibility of the CMC is at stake in the Brooklyn community. I'm out here because I want to ensure that my former party will live up to the commitment that it has made out there to all of the communities in all of the counties.
Okay.
I can recall in Mangibi County, in the Yangoli community, the party promised that we're going to do the road from Kakata into Yangoli. That road hasn't been done, and we said we were going to build a school there, a modest school there, or a modest school there for the people. I spoke a lot. I spoke a lot to. I just want to land on this note.
We got to get people involved. We got to get people involved. We got panelists. People have questions. Again, I appreciate everything, but we have to. I beg you. We'll bring you back on another time, but we have to move. So your main reason for leaving is, one, you broke promises to your commitment to farming, to the farmers. You overpromise. It sounds like to me, you overpromise. You say you're going to do this year, do that, even though you're a political party and you have the capability to raise the money, but you felt that they were breaking the promises. So for you, it was a thing where I don't want to be part of a party that breaking promises now and moving away from the regional thing that we talk about. And that's why you decided to leave, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great summary. But you know, I would also like to add to that is that, you know, what becomes more poignant is that as opposition party, we find ourselves blasting government for breaking promises. We hold them accountable for making promises to the Liberian people that they do not keep. And this
but they're the government, though. They're the government. Political parties have the ability to do what government does.
We hold them to that.
Right.
When we make promises to, as opposition political parties,
right,
we must equally hold ourselves accountable. If we do not do that, if we cannot hold ourselves accountable for breaking our promises to the people, the change that we seek to deliver to the people is not going to be delivered on broken promises.
Okay,
but if we cannot hold ourselves accountable for promises we make and we do not deliver, and want to hold the government accountable, to me is hypocrisy, and I would not want to be a part of that.
Faye, let's go to the panel. Fubi, you've been listening. You've been listening well to Honorable Bangura. Do you have any question? Do you have a question or two for Honorable Bangura? Please, Fubi, let's hear you.
No, so I listened to so Wilfred, good evening. I listened to your points and your freedom to associate and not associate with political parties is guaranteed by law, and that's a right that you are entitled to. You know, just for me, if I'm moving sometime, once we start something on a good note, sometimes it's good to leave quietly and just let it and leave it hanging. And but everybody different, and everybody will also push something different because it is politics. So now that you're going back home, I'm sure that you want to elevate your old home that you are returned to. And so I can also blame you on that because that's your own free will. You know, it's sometimes you nurture a baby and you want to see a baby grow. Well, at some point you have to abandon the baby and go back to your old baby. You know, so those are common things. And that's the beauty of politics. You keep shifting from one point to another. You know. So now that you've gone back home, what do you hope to achieve on the other side? Also, all the points that you have raised tonight, did you raise it in your executive meeting with your leadership at the time before the resignation? Because at some point when we saw your resignation letter, members for your party that was on the show said that as far as they're concerned, you stay a member and they have not seen your letter and the party have not accepted your resignation. So did you have all these discussions with them and did you give them notice that you were leaving? Thank you.
Thank you, Fubi. All of these points were raised, not one time, not two times. They were raised over and over again. And we only opted to leave when we thought that they were not used thoughts and they were not being attended to. So, you know, we decided to part company with them because we could not effect the changes internally, the reform we needed internally to get the party back on course. You know, efforts made towards those were not achievable. So the best thing to do at such a point was to opt out. And of course, you know that the MDR, our old party, since the demise of the late senator, we thought that our folks over there to themselves have been calling. They have been reaching out to us. They've been asking to come to help continue the dream of the senator, to continue the legacy of Senator Johnson, in view of the fact that we equally made a lot of investment in the MDR. So we decided that we will listen to the call from back home to go back to the MDR and make that party a very viable one. So we intend to go back to the MDR and do just that. We had the opportunity to serve as Secretary General of the MDR and then as acting chairman of the MDR. We took the MDR to convention in 2022. And then at that convention, we were elected as vice chair for political and governmental affairs. So as a matter of fact, our eyes opened in politics, working with the MDR. In 2017, we led the MDR to give support to former President George Manawia. So we've been with the MDR during the formative stages way back from 2015 all the way to 2023. So it gives a kind of fulfillment of nostalgic longings to return home and to see some of the folks with whom I have labored politically, to see some of these people and to see the reception that we have received back home. So the urgency to help revamp the MDR and work with the astute leadership of Councillor Kupo Kura and the rest of the other people there, became even more pressing. So we decided that we'll go back to the MDR because it appears that the MDR could offer a more plausible alternative to the governance, the governance question of Liberia. Okay. So it's very important to state that we will return to the MDR and we will continue to work with the MDR and make it a very viable party and expand the scope of the MDR to be able to show confidence in the politics of Liberia.
Very good. Welcome back, Dr. George. Any question for your friend here?
Yeah, Mr. Bangura, good to see you. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you, George. Good to see you too.
Yeah. Look, on April 8th, the Arab indicted some of your former colleagues. It is alleged that you were part of the investigation. You were invited by Arab for conversation with them. It is alleged that your name was initially on the list to be indicted. What do you have? Is it true, these allegations?
Dr. George, it's a great pleasure to see you, Dr. Emmanuel George.
Yeah,
I have been listening to you as well, so it's good to see you. I can confirm that as a former public official from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, I was invited twice by Arab, and I was asked to go there with my lawyer. And I took along with me my lawyer, Councillor Garrison D. Yelu. He accompanied me to those meetings. In June, I think another time I went there was sometime in November. And what I stated to them, everything was not verbal. It was a written account of what I knew about the subject that I was invited to talk about. So I produced written accounts. My lawyer looked at them, and I delivered them, tendered them to the folks there at Arab. And I left, and I haven't been contacted. I just want to say that I am not above the law. I believe that if there is a need for me to be called by Arab or by any other legal body, I will avail myself. And if I'm asked to explain what I know about the subject, I will be open to explain what I know about the subject. I will be keen to speak the truth about what I know. But so that is that. So I move on. I will be looking forward to just anybody from the judiciary or from Arab who will need follow-up questions, whatever it is. I will always make myself available to address whatever concerns people have, but I am not above the law. You talk about my name was initially part of the indictment. I have no such information. I heard that myself from Spoon. I think I even heard that from yourself, the panelists on the show. It was news to me. But I can tell you that from my vantage point, I know that indictments are very very secret, if I should use that word, are very secret processes. These processes are couched in secrecy, and nobody will know. Even as I speak, somebody might be indicted tomorrow. Nobody might know. Someone might be indicted next week or next month. Those people will not even know. So these are, the way the courts proceed, and I would not know about indictment. But I was never caught, and so I do not have any such information. But I can confirm that I went to Arab when I was caught, and I produced my testimony in writing with my lawyer. And if there's a need
quick follow-up, Mr. Bangura, thank you so much for that answer. It brings some clarity. But the quick follow-up, were you ever approached by Arab and gave you an offer to serve as a state witness in this case?
No, I was never.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. George. Connor Edward Gray, welcome, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to hear from you, Doc. How's the day going so far?
Great. You have any question for your friend, Wilfred Bangura?
Well, I'm trying to connect Mr. Bangura's philosophy to his association with political organizations in our country. He said he moved, every one of us normally move based on our conviction. Do you still hold the conviction that Mr. Hassan Beauty has a better, political recipe to offer Liberia?
Congress, I believe that Honorable Ability is a good man. He is a very good man, and I believe he means well for Liberia. I know that he means very well for Liberia. But I also believe that with the way he goes about it, I think that that's not the right way. I believe that in order to change Liberia, provide the right recipe for Liberia, we must be very honest with the people. Political parties in Liberia are never known for carrying out development just like any sitting government. In fact, the CMC is even doing far better than any other political party. But I thought that we cannot be making promises to many communities, and we don't deliver on those promises and expect that those communities will support our political ambition or political dream. I thought that that was delusional, and that it was necessary to explain to these communities and the Liberian people your agenda, what you want to do, the kind of change that you want to bring. If you have the means and wherewithal to bring about those changes, of course, you can do that. But nobody is really going to force you as an opposition political party that you're forced to do X, Y, and Z. But if you commit yourself that you're going to deliver, to do certain projects for the people, to push certain social changes, you must make sure that you deliver on those changes. Otherwise than that, your credibility is going to be at stake. So the CMC has a lot to work on. They will have to work on their credibility in lots of communities where these promises have been made, because these people remember when you go back there to campaign, they're going to say to you that you promised us X, Y, and Z, and you have never delivered on those promises. In addition to that, you cannot be holding central government to account and holding them that they made certain promises which they are not delivering on, when you yourself, that you have not delivered certain promises. So it's kind of hypocritical. And I believe that we must be straightforward and we must be very honest in our politics.
Okay, thank you. VP, welcome. Gray, did you have anything else? I want to bring VP on.
Yes, I was going to ask him a second question. So I lost count somewhere along your explanation as to whether you've gone back to your initial political party that you co-founded.
Yes.
If you've gone back, do you think you're going back is because that party has proximity to power today? Was that why you went back? Otherwise, if they were like any political organization, would you have gone back to what is that, not the CMC, but the party founded by Mr. Prince Johnson, may so rest in peace.
MDR.
Would you have gone there back if they were not having any proximity to power? If not, tell me what re-attracted you to go back to your initial party?
So, Colonel Gray, let me tell you that before we established the CMC, I was offered readmittance into the MDR. We were expelled from the MDR during the 2023 election. Right after that, Senator Johnson and the rest of the executive committee, in fact, he impressed on them that we needed to be reinstated. We were written. I have the letter of my reinstatement. I was reinstated into the MDR. But I thought that we needed to establish something different, something new, something that would be more viable and something that would represent real change. And so that view, that philosophy, and that passion drove us to establish the CMC. So I'm not going back to the MDR because of its proximity to power. I would have accepted my readmittance when I was readmitted then. I would have just stayed there. But I was venturing out to try new experience and to find new methodologies that we can use to help solve the Liberian, this problem, Liberian people problem, or to foster a Liberian project. So it was not because of proximity, and that my return is based on the necessity to go back and help, revamp our party and expand the scope of the party and make it very great. That Donald Trump would say, make MDR great again. So I'm going back to the MDR to ensure that the MDR is great again, to join the code of officers that are there, to work very hard to make the MDR second to none, because like I said earlier, I believe that it holds within its grips a plausible option, for political leadership in Liberia.
All right, good. Thank you, Bangura. Well, VP, welcome, man. Good to see you.
Well, thank you. And to my fellow panelists, Conor Gray, Fubi Henry, and Emmanuel, it's good to see you. Mr. Wilfred Bangura, nice seeing you after a long time. I was driving home and I had a time to listen to your story. I mean, personally, I didn't know you grew up in Yekepa. And being a former student of Karaha, I'm very proud to say yes. But I have this question in mind. You mentioned in your deliberation that you helped to form the MDR, which is highly commendable to be a founding member of a political party. And also, during the heat of the election, your political leader asked you to resign the position and join him. And you said no. At that time, what was that defining moment? Because in the context of Liberian politics, a political godfather is almost like your mentor. Define your mentor to uphold certain political values. Very difficult. So what was that issue that made you to hold on to where he previously brought you? You were in merger with the CDC. I am interested in knowing that special value. I don't know what was, directly involved that made you to say, in a much you respect your political leader, but you are not, or you were not waiting at that time to leave from where he brought you. I'm interested in knowing that.
Maybe, thank you very much. And I'm also glad to know that you equally went to Kara High School and you equally lived in Yekepa. So that makes us, one family. But I want to say that I was grounded in the belief that it was very important that the county NIBA remain in line with the government. I wanted to make sure that we were not portrayed as a county that will, that always go against a regime, a certain regime. I did not want that kind of narrative, to be portrayed on the county. For example, I'm alluding to history. We have a very dark history in this country where a whole regime went against Nimba, and the consequences that ensued were very dire. Lives were lost. We were isolated. We could not speak our own language, and that was the beginning of the Civil War, of which Senator Johnson played a very major role in helping to liberate our people. So I thought that the MDR was in a political relationship with the CDC government, although things were not 100% okay. But I thought that things could be really managed, but to sever ties immediately with the sitting regime, just turn against it, and switch off the light and turn against it, and to campaign against it, and then that government came back to power. I thought that would be very dangerous. It could reignite some of the ugly things that happened in the past. So we had a conversation with my political godfather. I told him, I said, "Why you are going on the other side? Let me stay on the other side, so that when you are not successful, we can be the bridge that you can cross over to come to us. And when you are successful, of course, you can be the bridge for us to cross over." And he said, "I agree. I'm a former army general. I cannot move with all of my troop, into battle. I will have to split my troop up, leave some troop behind, and then move forward, with the infantry troop, as it were." So, but I was very keen on making sure that, Nimbayans and Nimba County as a whole, we did not have that kind of narrative that anybody would say that these people at a certain point in time would turn against the government to try to move it from power. And it becomes very dangerous when that government comes back to power. So I was very keen about that very, very ugly history. More than that, I was also keen about the relationship that existed between Senator Johnson and, President Weah. I thought that they had a great relationship. Of course, there were some misunderstanding or disagreements, but I thought those disagreements will also be worked on, and that the relationship can get back on track. So I was convinced that it was necessary to have Senator Johnson and the former president, an entire caucus, and the Bayans trying to work out things, sort out differences and disagreements together.
All right, thank you.
My second question, I can ask one more, Dr. Brooker?
Yeah, quickly, please.
So my last question has to do with, I understand, you can clarify that you were expelled for not taking the side during the 2023 election, which was a critical period. But did you have a belief that one day there will be a time where the party will reconsider its decision to call you back? You had that in mind?
Yes, I had that in mind. I believe that there will be a day for reconsideration. And so the way I was groomed at the feet of Senator Johnson, we were groomed to think politically and to remain politically active. So during the period of our expulsion from the party, we had to be active. And like your word, we had to regroup. And hence we established the CMC. And our determination and goal is that we still believe that we can marry the CMC and the MDR in the future. So we know that in politics, anything is possible. But we knew that in the future, it would be possible for us to return home. And I'm thankful that the leadership of the MDR at home are very excited. The base is very excited to receive us, because this is about legacy. We want to continue to keep the legacy of the late senator alive. And this is a party that the Nima people believe that they can identify with. They see this as their own party. They've been with this party for more than 10 years, and they are inseparable from the philosophy and ideology of the MDR. And they have been looking forward to seeing us come back home. So it was necessary for us to come back home based on the clarion call we received to come back and try to revamp the MDR, work with the leadership that is there that is doing extremely well to make their party second to none, not just in Nima, but to also expand the basis of the party across the entire Republic of Liberia.
Okay, thank you, Wilfred. You know, when you go in the zoo bush, they got something they call initiation. So they initiate you into the zoo bush. Welcome to Spoon Talk, my friend.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for sharing tonight. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, your show is on Spoon Talk. Share the show, get engaged, make your comments, listen, and let's transform Liberia together. So we start off tonight. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Nelson, thanks for being here and helping us to get through another Spoon Talk episode. So we were talking about Honorable Yeka Koluba. Obviously, that's a big story in Liberia, and the papers, the goddamn front page, Africa, all that stuff. So let's get to it. So today, the president arrived back into the country. President JMB came back from his trip, and of course, the media was there to meet him, and they asked about Yeka Koluba. So let's play that clip. I'll play the clip, and then we'll talk on the other side. Nelson, if you're able to play that for us, let's share.
There is this controversial discussion of the expulsion of a certain lawmaker, Yeka Koluba. There are some citizens who believe that this never happened in previous administration, therefore it should not happen on your watch, given your experience in government.
There are a lot of things that never happened that will happen as long as we leave things well. I am now in the legislature.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President.
A lot of things that haven't happened, things will happen. I'm not a member of the legislature. That was the head of state, President JMB, when asked about the Yeka Koluba situation. Let's do a quick go around. Just weigh in real quick. Let's hear you, Dr. George. What did you hear? What didn't you hear? What do you say?
Well, I heard a president who is supporting the removal of Honorable Yeka Koluba.
They're supporting the removal?
The removal of Honorable Yeka Koluba.
And you, that's what you heard?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Or that's what you deduce from what you didn't hear?
Yeah.
What is it?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Look, the president is an intelligent, he's been in this thing for what, 40-something years. A simple question about what happened, listen to the answer. There are many things that have never happened that were happy. Can you imagine that? The answer, just listen to the answer. There are a lot of things that have never happened that is going to happen. There is no consolation. There is no inspirational message to the people of Liberia. The president message. It's just that the other time when they asked the president, he said, "We buy no new land." That's the thing that happened here. And you could see that either the press secretary or one of his handlers ended the press conference abruptly because they saw that the direction the direction the question was going now was going to be problematic for the president. So they abruptly ended the conversation and moved the president along. So that's why I mean from the way the president handled the issue, I strongly believe that he's supporting the removal of Honorable Yeka Koluba.
Okay, thank you. Colonel Gray, what did you hear or didn't hear? The president spoke briefly, responded to the media question around the Yeka Koluba saga. What says you?
I think the president is an orthodox person. He speaks with lots of reasoning. One has to penetrate to and exactly what he intends is what this is yielding. Some people see that it's a political maneuvering. Some will see it otherwise, and so on and so forth. But is it not true that in one's presidency, so many things can change? I mean, let's put the let's take let's extract our own personal interpretation of it. This is not a data that we should manipulate to our own BS. But is it not true? If he's the president, he's telling you that in his tenure, so many things will change. Isn't that what we elect new leaders for? I mean, I don't tend to misinterpret what the president meant, but in essence, he's saying that under his administration, a lot of things will change, and he's telling you the truth. There's nothing in it. I don't know whether that means that amounts to conniving with others to oust Mr. Yeke Oliver from his role. Yeke has violated the rules there, so they have a standing order that if you violate the rules in the House, you will be ousted. That's not President Buckeye. It got nothing to do with that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Colonel Gray. VP, what says you?
So, with reference to what the president said when he was asked that there are a lot of things that will happen that never happened, personally, I think it's being politically careful. Remember during the Capitol building saga, the president visited the national legislature. He made a statement, and every one of us on this platform said the president prejudiced the investigation. He said the hooligans who burned this building, they will be brought to book. Perhaps, I'm assuming while admitting that the president has learned a lesson to be politically careful, especially when it comes to legislative matters, the way the heat is building up. So just being careful. It happens to all of us. It's a choice. If you ask me a question, it's not my responsibility to respond your way. It's my responsibility to respond my way so I cannot be trapped. And in that context, the president clearly dodged the answer. The question, and then he gave what is okay. The next thing may be, like somebody said, you could be trapped because generally are very creative to do that. But in my mind, I think the president never wanted to interfere or be perceived as someone who is supporting the removal of Honorable Yeke Koluba, given what happened in the past. We all say he prejudiced the conversation, the investigation when he said people burned the Capitol building. So from that point, I think the answer is not for you and I to determine whether the answer is right, because this is not a classroom. It's a matter of morality and protecting one's reputation.
Thank you. Fubi, what says you, man? You heard President Boycott respond to the question. What says you?
Yeah, I think it was appropriate, and the way he ended it, I'm not a member of the legislature. Very appropriate. And that's the same posture that I expect from the Supreme Court. There are things that you're not part of, and there are some land that you have to keep drawn. You cannot, just get into every other stuff, because everything people say, let the president intervene. The Constitution is clear on the limits that it gave to the different branches and the authority that it also gave to the different branches. So the president cannot be meddling into legislative administrative matters. The legislature under Article 38 has the mandate to expel their own members for a cause. You should call them due process. And the legislature and the Constitution did not define cause in Article 38. So they can decide what that cause is. And they can execute that. And they are not subject to the executive. They are not subject to the judiciary. They are subject to themselves. That's the reason why they can impeach the president and the vice president. They can impeach the Supreme Court Chief Justice and the justices of the bench and the judges of subordinate courts, and they can expel themselves. That's the power that they have. So the president is right. things you have witnessed as long as you are alive. There are things that you always say that the first time it happened under my watch as I'm living. And you always have new things happening. A lot of us live, some of us have not experienced legislator being expelled. So for some, it's the first time it's happening while they are alive. So they will see that. And as they live long, they might see more. And that's what the president was just saying. As long as you are alive, you will see more things that have never happened. You will see them happening. But I'm not a member of the legislature, and he's fake. The legislature, they got their own rules, and they will deal with their own members. And you, as a member of the legislature, you know you're supposed to know better. It's numbers game. So play the numbers game and survive and sail through. If you don't play the numbers game, the Supreme Court cannot help you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Fubi. So Wilfred, let me give you the opportunity. You heard our president respond. What's your thoughts? Share it.
Dr. Brooklyn, I think the president's message was plain and straightforward, and I really thought that we can be making a mountain out of a molehill. What I mean by that is that, of course, strange things will continue to happen. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to come from the president. As long as we live in our evolution as human beings, there will be strange things happening. Things that never happened before will happen. And of course, you are a theologian. There's somewhere there in the Holy Writ that says there's nothing really strange. Things that happen
nothing
today,
new under the sun.
Nothing
What
new under
has
the
been
sun.
done?
Absolutely. So, so he said that, strange things will continue to happen. There is nobody.
And the president is a deacon.
The president's a deacon.
A Baptist deacon.
Of course, he's a Baptist deacon and you are a prelate. So you both really understand, that from the ecclesiastical point of view. But the point here is that nobody can really doubt in recent Liberian political history that we have had a very serious contamination in our public discourses, particularly coming from people with a huge responsibility, people who have been elected by the Liberian people and given a particular mandate to represent them. In ancient Athens, those days when you went to represent your people in the open space, which was from a pure democracy, whatever you said there was very important. We cannot have pure democracy, so we have representative democracy. So we gave our people power to go and represent us. But here's the ugly part of it. Most of the things they say in public fora, on radios, even in plenary, do they really consult with their people as they should to come back to their constituencies and have a town hall meeting or have a meeting in the village or in the cities where they represent the people and say, this is the topic in vogue. How should I approach it? How would you advise that we should approach X, Y, and Z topic? They do not do that. So they make all kinds of remarks. And one of such situation we're dealing with is the situation of Yeka Koluba. Nobody can say that what Yeka Koluba said, the position that he has maintained, is really representative of the position or opinion of the people of District Number 10. Did he consult with them? Did he have a meeting with them? What he stated, does it represent the opinion of the people of District Number 10? I do not think so. So strange things will happen. We have had the opportunity. We should be concerned about purging the society of these anomalies to ensure that people we invest with national leadership really live up to the responsibility that we gave them. It is not a small matter to be elected by the people as their representative. Another thing I want to add to this is that we need to make sure that we groom a more productive and alert civil society. Today in Liberia, strange things that are happening that should not be happening. When you went to red light, you get attacked by thieves or talks, sometimes 2 of them or 3 of them. You have the rest of the people standing by. They will just be watching. Nobody will rally the rest of the people to chase those people away. They say when you try to do that, the people will harm you. Those things must not happen. So those kinds of strange things that have been happening, I think that the president was saying that some of those things that have been happening, that have been persisting, the time for them to continue to persist are long gone. It's time for us now to try to purge the society of these anomalies, that when we give responsibility to national leaders, they must be, that kind of response, those kinds of responsible leaders that we really want them to be, and not making comments that are extremely against the sovereignty of the nation state. I'll close on this note.
Thank you.
I'll close on this note.
Thank you. So this is interesting. This is very interesting, because I know we all remember well that Honorable Yeka Koluba was a big supporter of JMB. I think we remember that well. And now we're saying the president wants to get rid of him from the house. You heard the man. The man said, in the house he would talk. Going out of the house he would still talk. So his position versus his voice, which is more effective, or which is more dangerous to whatever it is that people are afraid of. So let's get to it and move this a little further, right? Because today we saw something from the Supreme Court. Okay, so let's Nelson, are we able to put that up? Let's put up that Supreme Court. There you go. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. Yeah. So let's go. Let's try to scroll it down from scroll up so we get to the top. I want to read it for the benefit of our listeners. This is from the Office of the Clerk, Supreme Court of Liberia, Temple of Justice, blah blah blah. Chief Clerk, House of Representative. Dear Madam Clerk, yeah.
If you're having challenges with regards to the font size, then I can read it from my end here, I think.
Okay, yeah, why don't you read it then? Go ahead, Nelson, read it, because it's very small on my end. But go ahead and read it.
So it says the communication is dated April 16, 2026. Chief Clerk, House of Representatives, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. It says, Dear Madam Clerk. And then you have Representative Yeka Koluba, Representative District of Electoral District 10 of the 55th Legislature, Montserrat County, Republic of Liberia, as the petitioner, versus the House of Representatives by and through Honorable Rachel Nagbe-Kun, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 55th Legislature, Honorable Thomas Fala, Deputy Speaker, the Chief Clerk, and Sergeants at Arms of the 55th Legislature, and all members of their control, also of the City of Monrovia, Montserrat County, Republic of Liberia, as the respondents. This is a petition for a writ of prohibition. And so it says, by directive of His Honor Yusuf D. Kaba, Associate Justice presiding in chambers, you are hereby cited to a conference with His Honor on Monday, April 20, 2026, at the hour of 2:30 p.m. in connection with the above captioned case. Meanwhile, you are ordered to stay all further proceedings and or action in the matter pertaining to this one is blurred from my end. The outcome of the conference. Yeah. So I think this is where it ends. It says kind regards, very truly yours. And then there's also blur for that end. I can't see it from where I sit. Yeah. But that the booklet is there, I think
yes. That was good enough, Nelson. Thank you very much. That was good enough, and I'm sure it was clear enough for our listeners to hear. So yeah, so you can take that down now. That was good, and let's get there. You go. That's good. That's good. All right. Okay. That's the thing, right? So clearly, what we read is an order from the Supreme Court. And obviously, the Supreme Court didn't automatically just issue an order, they were petitioned. So somebody must have been from Honorable Kaluba's team reached out to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said two things. One, they asked for a conference, okay, which is a common legal thing. They asked for a conference, come in the chambers and let's talk. You know, when I came to Liberia, my second week, I had to go to the chambers to go have conference. I don't like to go to chambers to have conference. I don't like to have conference in the Supreme Court chambers. I had to go there for a conference. So they called for a conference on Monday. But then the second thing they did, which is most significant, they said that in the meantime, you're ordered to stay proceedings, meaning don't do nothing with the case yet until we have that conference on Monday. So we're going to talk about this for a minute because this is important. We're hearing from different people. I wish we had a legal mind on tonight who could weigh in on this and give us some insight. I am a law school dropout, so I'm not close to a legal mind. The small thing I remember in the 2 years I was there, it won't position me to speak on these matters. But I've been researching this today quite a bit because there are some people who say that the Supreme Court actually cannot halt, doesn't have the right to halt that, and that's considered obstruction, a constitutional issue. There are others who say the Supreme Court, being the highest court, can intervene when they petition and say, let's hear this. So, but let's hear from the panel. Let's hear from the panel. We have our very wise and exposed and educated panel, and share your wisdom around this. The court says, wait, don't do anything, come, let's talk. Is the court right to get involved? Is it
Dr. Bobler, are you there?
Dr. Brubla is having internet difficulties.
Well, I think we lost Dr. Bobler. So till we get him back, Dr. Josh, I think you can weigh in on that. I think he was trying to set the basis for the conversation, but you read the through the communication.
Yeah, I read the communication, and it's always important for the various branches of government to respect each other. Even if you believe that there may be interference here and there, it's always important to respect the other branch of government because the authority that they have is situated in the respect that they receive from each other. So I believe that that the House of Representatives will respect what came from Justice Yusuf Kabah, and they were attending a conference. It's important that I don't see it as stepping bound. It's a conference to have a conversation, and there's nothing wrong in having a conversation. Look, we have seen many cases in this part of the world where I live, where the Supreme Court has interjected or the lower courts have interjected on executive orders, executive decisions, and the executive respected the process. There were opinions shared. By the end of the day, the process was respected. And that's the same thing should be happening in the case. Look, let me come back to the president, how they call it, all the flipping, the United Party sympathizers on the show tonight, being flipping around the state.
What he said, Dr. Josh? What he said?
In the case of the removal of Speaker Fanati Kofa, a member of the House of Representatives, Luther Collins, openly shared that $25,000 each were distributed, was how do you call it, was promised, and $10,000 each was distributed. He came live on Spoon FM and other stations showing $10,000 that were paid to him. Besides the government of Liberia, who in our country have money to spread at that? $10,000 each to 73 members of the House of Representatives. So we should not come on the show and start being blindfolded by facts that are in front of us, and we start to spin around because we are sympathetic to our establishment. We have a lot of facts that show in this matter, and Senator Yeke Koluba has the right to free speech. That's his right. Quite recently, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and many of you know I don't like to make the examples, came from Cuba. She went to visit Cuba, came and condemned the government action in Cuba. Nobody in this country have hold libel or sedition or treason against the government. During the case of this gentleman,
wait, let me hold you now, Dr. George. That's not the same thing, though. That
it's the same situation. Yeke Koluba stated, let me quote Yeke Koluba.
With his government.
Yeke Koluba
the government had the wrong position.
That from his research, and he has the right to research. In fact, those of us in the academic, you are also threatening our academic freedom. He said from his research. Doesn't he have the right, his personal right to research?
No, I'm just talking about your analogies. Go ahead and speak. I just talking about your analogies.
Yeah, play the tape of what Yeke said. So it means that those of us who are researchers will come to Liberia, we research something against, and added to this, the Liberian government has no policy on what's happening at that border. No policy. Is the Guinean soldiers not at the border right now? What is the policy? What's the government policy? What has the government declared happening at that border? And you don't expect Yeke to speak to it, and he's saying from his research, and you're saying the people from district number 10 had no say in someone's research. How many of us who are researchers go around having saying from people to tell us how to research or we want to find?
Yeah, but we're talking
and
about.
My friend, Mr. Bangura, was the chief of staff. Let me conclude on this, please. Mr. Bangura was the chief of staff to Honorable Musa Bedete. Let Bangura tell me that as he worked as chief of staff to Honorable Musa Bedete, did they not carry out research in the office? The research that he carried out, was it in line of the research of the Liberian government during his stay there?
Okay. So should I answer then?
So that wait. Oh, hold on, Wilfred. I want to.
Dr. Josh, you have to have that.
But listen, the public is following, and we try to help them understand it. This thing is sequential, is chronological, and then now it's situational. It is in a certain place. So I beg you, let's stay in that place where it is. The new place right now is the Supreme Court said, one, you'll come, okay, lawmakers, leaders of the House of Representatives, come to our chambers on Monday for a conference meeting. We won't talk to you about that thing you're doing and the legal implication, ramification. That's one. But two, until you come on Monday, you don't do anything, okay, with the case, which I don't think I'm going to do anything anyway, because the 9th session on Friday and the 9th session on Monday. They come back on Tuesday. But I guess the court, they don't want to take any chances. They say, don't do anything with this matter until we have a conference on Monday. So do you think that the Supreme Court, the High Court, is overstepping it bound? Do you think it's a constitutional issue here? Or you think they just have a right to go ahead and say, look, we're going to stay this until we talk to you? Conor Gray, let's hear you.
Yeah, Doc, there is a perennial struggle in democracy when you talk about the separation principle, the separation of powers within the three branches of government. There's been this perennial struggle for dominance. When Prophet Key was summoned to show reasons why he should not be held in contempt after making certain statement that seemingly puts the Supreme Court at disrepute. They rendered him a verdict after he could not adequately show reasons, and today he's serving a 6-month sentence. What you're saying is that the legislature should have gone there and said, no, you can't do this. Let's rescind that particular sentence because he was speaking his mind. The thing about it is that these branches of government have set their own individual rules that govern them. And if one person violates, I heard Dr. George talking about he uses his own research, this and that. The House said he violates their rules. We should be finding out what rules they violate. Some say they committed treason. These are the side talks. Even myself said his statement was treasonable, but that's not what he's being charged for. He's going to be ousted from that area because he spoke against the House's expectation. He had a fiduciary responsibility, and he has violated that. Those people are the only one crooks without responsibility because that's what the Constitution says. If you set up a rule, this is a judicial outrage. And if you ask me, they should not have even attempted, Yusuf Kabah should not have even attempted to meddle in this but I can see where he's coming in because somebody took a case to them. The court don't come after you until you bring a case to them. But in the essence of things, the judiciary has no oversight on how the honorable legislature, governs itself within the purview of their own rules. So I don't understand. People can find any way to juggle this, but this is the principle of non-interference that we the forefathers of our Constitution struggle to even define. And people will always jump over the fence to go on the other side and to tell the others how they govern themselves within their own judicial boundaries. So the thing about it, this is it's just going to be one of those situations that, yeah, the Supreme Court can always speak, but does that have an effect on how the House governs itself? I would say no, because the Constitution clearly says no interference. That's not your business. Get out of there.
All right, thank you, Colonel Gray. Wilfred, let's hear you on this matter. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just wanted to say to Dr. George, he went back to the comment that I made regarding what Yeke has said in this crisis. What I want to point out is that land issues are existential issues, Dr. George. When you're talking about land, you're talking about existential issues. Existential issues are issues that are tied to identity, a sense of belonging, who we are. So it's not a small matter. When you are commenting on that, you have to know that part of you, or all of you, is tied to that. So it's not a trivial or frivolous matter that you can just brush off. I wanted to state that clearly so that when you are a policymaker or a lawmaker and you are commenting on existential issues that border on life and death, you have to be really circumspect on what you say. So that's why you need to have consultation. So I know that a lot of lawmakers will be found wanting in that area of consistently consulting with their constituents before making comments or making decisions, whether in private or in public. I wanted to state that. So back to the issue at bay. I want to think that although I'm not a lawyer, my wife is a very erudite lawyer. I would talk to my wife, perhaps after this show, she will give me more insights very wonderful, one of the brightest minds that we can find in the legal field of the country.
Hey, but go on, man. Say what you gotta say.
But I want to say that we saw the same display. What is happening is not strange. We saw this happening during the crisis that saw the ouster of the former speaker. We saw, the legislature proceeding the way they're proceeding. I would think, from my layman perspective, that we have three branches of government. They're distinct but coordinate. The Supreme Court believes that there are constitutional issues involved, and so they can get involved. So when they issue a citation for a conference, I think that citation must be honored, because I believe that it borders on issues that they have realized is basically constitutional. So once it is bordered on that, it will be very important and advisable for the leadership of the House or to attend to that call, because the message we sent out to the public is that if these two branches of government do not coordinate, one of them sends out a citation for the other branch, and the other branch says, no, you can't call us to any conference. We have power. We can exercise our own power here. We cannot come to your call. It's just a very dangerous precedent. And so students and other people following will begin to think that it's okay for one branch of government to just carry on and do whatever without checks and balances. So I think that the Supreme Court is saying something that is worthy of consideration in light of their role as that body that is responsible to look into constitutional matters. So I would think that to totally ignore or dismiss the call of the High Court, reminds us of what happened during the days when the former speaker, Fonati Kofa, was being ousted. And I for one really thought that the precedent that was being set was not a good one at all. These branches of government must be able to coordinate very well, and you can still move forward with your decision if you went to the conference and proceedings from that conference, you explain to the court, what the court wants to hear. So it'll be a good idea for them to avail themselves to the call, or instead of ignoring the call. I think they need to do that.
All right, thank you. VP.
So, Dr. Brookler, if you read Article 31 of the Liberian Constitution, 1986 Constitution to be specific, it mandates all elected officials after election, before taking their seat, they take an oath to defend and protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So, respecting the Constitution is one of their cardinal responsibilities. And I'd like to add up to what Bangura said. During the removal of Speaker Kofa, we saw the issue of the Supreme Court making its position clear that it has jurisdiction, it had a jurisdiction over anything that has to do with constitutional matter. One thing we should also recognize is that the court does not go around looking for cases. If you carry the case to them, they believe they have jurisdiction, they will get in and act. So that is not an interference. You take your matter, you run to the Supreme Court. Being a legislator does not mean you can't be governed by the Constitution. Article 66 of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia specifically establishes that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of constitutional matters. So, in the case of Fonati Kofa, we saw the lawmaker, the very House of Representatives, obeying. When the Supreme Court said, you got to what and come to us, they went there with their lawyers. They obeyed. They are on record of obeying the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court has jurisdiction over matter that has to do with constitutional issues. And in this case, somebody went to the court again. And at the end of the day, the Supreme Court ruled in the case of Fonati Kofa that his removal was unconstitutional. And what happens? Rachel Nangbe-Kun, Speaker Rachel Nangbe-Kun, who was described then as a purported speaker, he resigned that position, went to a democratic process, got legitimate by winning the election. That's why today he is the legitimate speaker. So I believe this matter has a semblance of what happened in the case of Fonati Kofa, because it borders on constitutional issue. Somebody is saying my removal is illegal, and they are using the Constitution to deal with this member. So anything that has to do with constitutional provision or principles, the Supreme Court has to take charge. And I'm very sure they will obey, because they are on record of obeying, because this matter has to do with constitutional issue that one of their members violated the Constitution. He took oath to protect and defend the Constitution. So therefore, they are attempting to remove him or expel him. The Supreme Court is also telling that you come for conference, because you also took oath to defend and protect the Constitution. You cannot be using this instrument to penalize your member, but at the same time refusing to subject and protect. By you submitting yourself to the Supreme Court, you are protecting and defending the Constitution. And I'm very sure tonight that tomorrow, when there is a session, or maybe they will hold that, they will listen. I think we are civilized now. We should not prejudice the case. There are good people in this country, especially in every area of our government, and they will obey the Constitution, they will obey the Supreme Court mandate, because they are on record for obeying. Dr. Bropler, you are muted. Dr. Bropler, you are muted.
Yes, all right. So thank you, VP. Fubi, you've been listening to your fellow panelists, and of course, you know, you read the order from the High Court to the first branch of government, the House of Representatives, to be specific. So what says you? What are your thoughts? Share your thoughts, my friend.
Yeah. So firstly, to Dr. George's point, you said why you get there was free speech. In the Prophet Key case, the very Supreme Court that you're hearing today said that free speech, and they rule out that free speech or that Abdullah Kamara Act, and that free speech is still punishable as per Article 15. So we can't make that argument again about free speech, because 15 tells you every person shall have the right to freedom of expression, being fully responsible for the abuse thereof. So if at some point you abuse that freedom of expression, you can be penalized. So let's put that one at rest, because the very Supreme Court ruled on that in the Prophet Key case, legitimizing Article 15 again as per the Constitution. So no act or statute can undo the Constitution articles. So on the point about the stay order, like I said, the Supreme Court has the right to invite parties for conference when cases are taken to them. They have the right to do that. But for the legislature, you can invite them for a conference, but you cannot put a stay on their activities. And that's the point that I'm talking about. The Supreme Court should not have added that line and put a stay. Because when you put a stay, you violate Article 44. Because Article 44 is clear. It tells you contempt of the legislature shall consist of actions which obstruct the legislative functions, or which obstruct or impede members or officers of the legislature in the discharge of their legislative duties. So the guys are executing legislative duties. So you cannot put a stay on them. This is the Constitution. The Supreme Court cannot order them to stop doing their work. They are equal and coordinate branches. But the Supreme Court does not have that jurisdiction to say, just stop doing what you're doing. It's like the Prophet kept saying, oh, the treasury should be set by the legislature. The legislature will not tell the Supreme Court, say, put a hold to Prophet Key, something, because we want to set the punishment. So you have to respect the boundaries that are set within the Constitution. Every branch has a limitation. So the Supreme Court has a limitation. So they cannot just, because they say, oh, final arbiter, they can just do anything they want to do.
But
so
let me ask you one question.
Article 38, VP Ways. Article 38, they say each house shall adopt its own rules of procedure, enforce order, and with the concurrence of 2/3 of their entire membership, may expel a member for a cause. The cause there is not defined. So who decide the cause? That they themselves decide a cause. The Supreme Court cannot tell you what cause, because it's clear. So you can't say, oh, tracing is a criminal matter, so you can use tracing as a cause. So no definition of cause over there. So everything that the guys deem as a cause, they can use it. So we have to tread the fine line and understand that these articles were written for a reason. And the House also has the power. I'm coming, man. Don't say I'm the school. You spoke, give me a chance, but the power.
No, but you were speaking your time.
The president, to impeach the vice president, to impeach all the justices of the Supreme Court bench, to impeach judges of the subordinate courts, and to also expel their own members. And the Supreme Court cannot overturn those decisions when they are made. The only thing the Supreme Court can do is the only cite procedural errors as per the Constitution, like the analogy I gave earlier. It said, oh, you're supposed to slap the man with your right hand, but you slap him with your left hand. So go back and slap him with your right hand. That's all the Supreme Court will tell you to do. But the Supreme Court will not say that decision that you made, we overturn it. Like they can do with subordinate courts. The subordinate courts gave a guilty verdict, for example, the Gloria Musukat case. She was found guilty in the lower court. But when the matter was taken appeal to the Supreme Court overturned that decision. And today she's a free woman. That cannot happen with legislative impeachment or expulsion proceeding. The Supreme Court cannot overturn the decisions. They can only cite you procedural errors and tell you to go back and do it the right way. But at the end of the day, the votes of the member of the legislature prevail. That's what we should understand. Thank you.
Dr. Brofler,
you're muted.
VP, 30 seconds. What do you want to say? 30 seconds.
So let me correct Fubi.
Man, yes, say correct me. Yes, correct me. Say
30 seconds.
Okay,
Go ahead. VP.
We are told in civics that the legislature makes the law. The very constitution you are talking about, the power to make law is vested in the legislature. To interpret the law the legislature makes, that power is vested in the judiciary. To execute it is the executive. You said here today, you say the legislature that makes the law, they should interpret their law and execute. This matter has to do with constitutional matter. Saying your job is to make the law, the interpretation of what you make, it has to be the responsibility of the judiciary. So Supreme Court now is coming in line with Article 66. Anything that has to do with constitutional matter, you don't know it, that only the one can interpret whether you are right or wrong. And they have done that consistently. They did it in the case of Funati. Who right, who not right, they went at the end of the day, Supreme Court stepped in. It did not impede their function. It is a constitutional responsibility vested in Article 65 that gives the Supreme Court the right to look into matters that has to do with the Constitution. That's why when the Supreme Court ruled in the case of Onati, all the other member, majority, no majority, minority, they went back to have a democratic election. Rachel Namekun resigned. He contested and won. So it shows that when you make the law, you can't interpret. Give the Supreme Court chance to interpret what you wrote. Simple. But you can't be referee, be player. Talking about interfering. Who determined interfering? You wrote the law, and the Supreme Court will interpret for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, VP. So everybody has spoken on this matter, and the issue now is at a place where the High Court got involved. So what we don't know, at least I don't, and I'm not sure if anybody else on this panel does at this point. What we don't know is the communication that gave rise to the court's intervention. Somebody must have petitioned the High Court. And in the petition, you have to state the why, okay? Wilfred, when you go home, ask your wife, she'll probably tell you that law is reason, okay? Yeah, and when the reason for something fails, say law fails. So you gotta say why. You can't just right to the court and say, can't just tell people to stop. You gotta give the why. So we don't have that we don't know what they, and I can assume, and I think rightfully, that it was Honorable Koluba's team, somebody from that camp, went to the High Court and say, hey, we need your intervention. But you have to say why. Either you say procedural error, rights being violated, something, they're not following constitutional overstep, something. If we had that piece, right, then they would give more insight. We don't. All we have is the response from the High Court. One, we need a conference with you on Monday, and two, stay the proceeding. I almost want to think it's almost like a tactical show of force. Tactical meaning the lawmaker not meeting on Friday, and the lawmaker not meeting on Monday. The lawmakers will meet again Tuesday. So this matter, we're not going to continue during the weekend. We're going to continue on next Tuesday. But the court said, come talk. And I think by saying, don't do anything, they're really saying you will not be able to do anything until after we talk to you. So the issue then is it constitutional? Is the High Court overstepping its bounds? The separation of powers. So my thought is, and this is just me, and I heard all of you are gleaned from your wisdom. My thought is the court should have let the legislative branch do its work. And then if under that process, somebody feels aggrieved, then you take the matter to the court. Again, without being privileged to the petition that prompted the court's intervention, is hard to say, because maybe in that petition, it talks about constitutional violations, stuff like that, and then that would prompt the court's intervention. But I think it'll be very interesting. I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens come Monday, and we have plenty to talk about on Monday night, and certainly on Tuesday morning, because that's when I believe the first branch of government, the legislature, will have an opportunity to respond, right? To respond from that Monday conference. Then we'll see what happens on Tuesday. I think the bottom line for all of us is that we want to continue to be a people who respect the rule of law. All the talk about democracy, we all know, means nothing if you don't have a continuum of the rule of law. And we all know that sometimes our ruling is not what we want, what we like, what we were expecting, but we're better off under that canopy of the rule of law than if we're not. We have to all be respectful of the rule of law. So we'll see, and Spoon will be right there. I know Nelson and Diamond and the crew will be right there on Monday to capture everything. Tuesday, be right back on Capitol Hill to capture everything. Folks, we have 25 minutes left. 25 minutes left. We got to talk one more thing, and then we close with our comments. Is Nelson, you still there? Nelson, you still there? I wonder if you have Eugene Fagon's clip. That was pretty interesting from the LBS director today. We got a little clip on him sharing his views on important matters with the Unity Party. Nelson, you got that clip? Let's listen to that clip. I think it'll be a good way to close the show. Let's listen to the clip and we opine, and then we do our closing. You got it, Nelson?
I'm speaking to my Unity Party brothers and sisters. You all need to stop what you're doing. And I hope the chairman will take note of this video. Somebody should go to the chairman and tell him that this is what Fagon is saying. I said it before, and those who overlook what I said can testify to what is happening today. There are people that came with the Unity Party. The president realized that they mean well. But somehow, some of you people in the Unity Party believes that every government job belongs to you. I'm telling you now. That somehow this person should not be over there because it's too strategic. Yeah, this is what you people are doing. That person is supposed to be there. If you're not undermining them, you are sending people to them. They are insulting them. They are tarnishing their reputation. They are undermining them. In some cases, I will give you three particular cases. A particular case. It happened to the airport. I will not call him. I will not go into detail. This person harassed that old man to the point where they got out one day, acted pompous, wrote a letter to the president and told the president we're going to beg them to stay. All in the name of Unity Party. The president accepted it. I saw it again. Happy at CSA. I knew about it. Joka is trying his best, Josiah Jokai. Everyone can see the transformation there. And so all the Unity Party people pray, who be a deputy and you just keep disrespecting your boss? And you think it's okay. Because you're a big Unity Party man, you can do whatever you want. And you got the support. Of course, that's normal. Somebody. But what I'm saying is the level of disrespect, the disregard for authority, in the name that I'm party executive or I'm party this and that. When 2029 comes, you want to make friends. Look at my situation. I've been disrespected, cussed out for 2 years, insulted, lied upon, over and over, sabotage. I ain't ready to talk yet. I told you I ain't get no, how you call that thing? Allotment. Since no third quarter, no fourth quarter. Up to now, 2026, going through the procurement process. Some individuals within the Unity Party will have to calm down a little. You did not win this election on your own. And the government may be a Unity Party government, but you need other people to work with you and to help you. And everybody that is not a UP person that has an institution is disrespected by your partisans, most of them. Insulted on a daily basis. If you continue on this note, you will have problems in the future. I said the same thing to the then CDC. I'm saying it.
Well. That's Eugene Fagon talking his own. He said the Unity Party people, because they think the Unity Party people, so they're disrespecting authorities in different places, and so he's calling it out. We gotta be careful though when we talk some of these things, because on the one hand, if people disagree with you and you respond in a way that don't give them freedom to be who they are, professional otherwise, and then you come on the other hand, you say You're disrespecting people party affiliation. Wrong here is wrong there. So y'all heard the LBS boss talking. What are your thoughts? We're gonna close the show, folks. So let's take 2 minutes, say your own, and then we'll close out. Let's just react to Eugene Fagon's observations in that clip. Conor Gray, let's hear you.
Thank you, Doc. You know, Liberia, there are two institutions people always hold close to their heart. Not even the family. It's either the church or religion or the political party. You're deemed as non-human if you don't have a party to identify with in Liberia. I feel that this is a qualification to be a human being. To be a good citizen, you have to have a political party. If you don't, they look at you in a diminished manner. I say this because everything now in Liberia is politics. Even when you seek not to identify with a political party, the way you get the response is like you are pretending not to be, but you are. Well, I believe if you are going to be holding position at a certain level, and you know that position comes with your own expertise and skill, you don't necessarily have to join a political party in order to harness your knowledge. Look, I live in a country where when I go to work, they don't ask me from a political party. In Liberia, it's the reverse. Because what they want from me here is my expertise that I bring to the work site. Exactly. It's not my affiliation with a political party or a church or synagogue or whatever it is. And to me, that's a misinterpretation of democracy. If we're going to be a group of people that will harness our own knowledge, tutelage, no wonder the country looks like that. Because people believe the only way for you to hold a position, you must be a political being. You must be part of a political party. And if we can vanquish our mind with some of these misfits, this kind of way of thinking, when you enter Dubai, they don't ask which political party developed Dubai. When you enter the Ivory Coast, they don't ask you which political party developed the Ivory Coast. The glory goes to all Ivorians. Those people country are developed, they will say. So what Fagon is highlighting is that if we can put down this political cap a little bit and deal with people based on what they have to offer, our country will make progress. And this is why some of us will continue to remain partyless. If you don't see me for who I am to get to the workplace, I'll continue to do my own business as I'm doing now and make money without being a pagan, a Christian, a Muslim, or whatever it is. My effort is to see that Liberia moves forward. It could be anybody. Don't count me to come and join a political party because this is the wrong guy.
Thank you.
But and I'm not going to stay away because I'm not part of a party to contribute my quota.
Thank you.
The law does not requires me to, and therefore I stay where I am.
Thank you, Conor Gray. Wilfred, let's hear you.
Dr. Brooklyn, I would think that we need to hear more from Eugene Fagon. I think what he enunciated is just a tip of the iceberg. We need to hear more from him, particularly so when he fell short of naming names. He has to properly describe what he's really talking about. You cannot be speaking in riddles. And so then I'm at a loss here, okay? I'm trying to make sense of what he's trying to say. It's like, you have an experience of something, but instead of speaking to it directly and clearly and definitively, he's still trying to throw jabs out there, and without clearly stating who did that and who did what, and also knowing that they made that cabinet. I mean, internal government matters can be brought to cabinet and they can be discussed in cabinet. These kinds of complaints or these kinds of experiences can be discussed and channeled properly in cabinet to be dealt with. But if you come public with it, then you must be very clear to tell us what exactly you're talking about. You talk about some experience from the airport. One old man was made ashamed. Who was that old man? When was that? And who made him shame, and for what and why? So it leaves me with a lot of questions. If he cannot come to clearly state to us what he's talking about, then I can just describe that showmanship or brinkmanship. But it will be very important for him to come back to the public to clearly tell us what he really means, other than speaking in riddles.
Thank you, Dr. George.
Yeah, I like Mr. Bangura. I like when people somersault, they come down, they try to establish their feet as to whether they in opposition or they in position. Good to see you, Mr. Bangura.
But I don't know, Mr. Moderator.
Go ahead. Don't worry about Dr. George. Go ahead.
I am on the show. We can have a debate on that.
Yeah, we can.
But not tonight. Not tonight.
Let
Go
me say
ahead,
it this
Dr.
way.
George.
Look, Dr. Problem. Whenever we elect a president, we give him the authority and the power to appoint between 3,000 to 4,000 people. 120 cabinet ministers and their deputies, about 1,200 to 1,800 agencies and SOEs, county officials between 225 to 450, local administration. So it's a lot of people. But unfortunately, there's also a good number of people who are working and who intend to have those positions. So what Mr. Fagon says is not new. I had a leadership training 2 weeks ago, and in this room of leaders, they were complaining about the same thing. It's part of life. Once you are at the top, other people are struggling to get there too. So Mr. Fagon, he can complain, he did it in the CDC government. The same thing will happen. I mean, except we go to heaven where everything will be okay. But once you're on earth and you are in a leadership position, people want to take your position. My brother Wilfred Bangura now joined MDR. MDR is part of the United Party. He had added number one. They got to find space for him. Somebody got to move for them to put him there. So that's how the team work. So if I were Eugene Fagon, I would pay attention.
To move from where, Dr. George?
If I were Eugene Fagon, I don't know where they want to place you. You did came because you love United way down there.
Dr. George, I do not want a government job. Let me make that very clear.
That's what all y'all can say. So
I'm saying that to you now. Okay, so if you think you can vilify me, I just want to tell you that I do not want a government job.
To say you would not be
Gentlemen, we're running out of time. Let Dr. George please land so we can bring Fubi.
I'm concluding. My brother Wilfred is enjoying him not here tonight. So Wilfred is coming, so they have to place him somewhere, and someone will have to move. I don't know, address by address thing here. So I think
Dr. George,
Director General Fagon, Director General Fagon,
I do not want to
pay attention to leading the LBS. Find ways for him to have an allotment. Try to be a very good leader and stop complaining on national television. The reason why we appoint you to position is to solve problems, because we know that there is problems to be solved and it's not for you to complain. So he can say for tomorrow that 5,000 jobs, other people are joining a party, people are somersaulting, they come in and they need position. They will be placed and somebody will have to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. George. Welcome, T. Wanake Fangalu. Good to see you, my brother. You will do the benediction tonight because you came at the end of the service.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Fubi, Let's hear you, my man. Our man, Eugene Fagon, I talk.
Excuse me, can you put highlight? Wilfred, you need to see Honorable Fagon comment. Can you highlight for us and Nelsie? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Dr. Problem. Nelsie, can you highlight
I can
Honorable?
see the comment. Where is it?
My man, Fubi, talk. Let's hear Fubi back.
That means support the campaign. I know my man was sing another song again. And you know, so Eugene Fagon, you got some legitimate points, but coming to the public to say them for me, that's wrong. You know, I always say this: when you are within, you criticize within. If you were to get out, then you can come outside and criticize. But you can't be within, you come publicly and start complaining. It doesn't work.
Bad table
Yeah,
manners.
very bad table manner. You know, so stay within. You have you got access to all these leaders. So unless you say you come into the public for obvious reasons, but you have access to the party chairman. You don't need a Facebook podcast for him to hear you. You have access to the president. The president appointed you.
Fubi, that's a good point, Meg. Let me ask you then. So what do you think is his motivation? What objective? Because you're right, you can just go to the party leadership and say, look, my people, something happened here ain't correct. You're straighten it out. For America, he put it on blast and going viral on social media, 34,000 views already. So what do you think his motivation? What do you think his motivation? What's up there?
Yeah, maybe except if he's sensing something, so it'll be like, oh, I spoke that the reason why they put the movement. And you know, so sometimes you can start to smell the rat and say, oh, I think something's smelling. So let me just say this out of frustration so that even if they get me out, then I got a reason for that. But for me, I don't think it's necessary. Once you're within, do all your criticism within. Push all your points. You got the information minister. Yes. You have the party chairman. Yes. You have the president. Yes. You have all these people. Yes. You have the VP. Yes. The last time the president went to your studio. So all of these people, you have access to them. So talk to them internally. Don't come on Facebook. Oh, that's wrong. You know, good points, but wrong channel to express them. And that's why, like that I just said, that men moving, men driving business. You know, whatever you have, we call it DG and praising you. The people that are praising you, they want your job too. Political, the people that fought for the party today, they stay hustling. They didn't even get a first recognition. They're hoping that the CDC beginning to say stratify. You have to stratify me. They're hoping for certification. So the late mistake you make, somebody will capitalize on it. So he just needs to cool down. He used to too much talking, and not necessary. You want a lot, man. You come to the public crowd and they ain't giving you money. Go to the legislature and make it clean. They're not Facebook business. You know, so and also raise money. Your entity is a revenue generating entity. It does not rely 100% on the budget for support. So you got avenues to raise money. So use those avenues. Use your expertise. It's a public radio. You can have advertisement. You can have other stuff from other private companies. They can do their subscription and roll. You have the act the last time you are comparing DSTV to pay some subscription fee to you. So use all of the avenue that you have to generate money for your entity. The budgetary support will come, but raise the money that you can raise. And that's the reason why they sent you there. To upgrade the facility to step it up. LBS, we are people saying, LBS will never be the same again. But now by the DG coming outside the top plenty, do the work and let people feel the impact. Thank you.
So Fubi, thank you. So unfortunately, though, a lot of our SOEs don't understand the importance of revenue generation. Revenue generation accomplishes two things. One, it helps the government to do its work by making agencies as self-sustaining as possible. But two, it is evidence of creativity, and that's what we lack. So people got perks and privileges, and it's not tied to productivity. For some of us who work in the private sector all our life, we can't fathom that. You know, you got to be productive. You got to be producing something. You got to be moving something forward. But yeah, you will get your car, you will get your salary, you will get your gas slip, you will get your scratch card, you will get your DSA. Even your company ain't doing jack. You will just be getting it every month, getting it every month. And that's part of the reason we have these problems. Because if entities were producing like they should, we won't have situation where some entities are underfunded, because some entities are supposed to be revenue generating. Like, for example, things like sports. We all know in most of the rest of the world, sports is self-sustaining. It's self-sustaining. Joe, we all know that, because he left from Liberia and went to Cameroon, where he was semi-pro, and then on to Europe and a big career, where the government not giving funding for sports, but sports are self-sustaining. It creates jobs, it generates revenue. So we got to start to change the mindset and challenge people. I think the day has come now where some of these positions should be commission-based. It should be small base salary and then commission. So if your agents ain't producing, you get a small salary and go home. But you get a man big salary, you get a big car, you get all the amenities, and he doing nothing. The man has no incentive. So he just keep mediocre operation, and he ready to cry. Your agency not producing. We need to produce. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good show. It's always a privilege to hang with all of these esteemed panelists, but most important, to just hear from the Liberian people, engaged Liberians all over the world who participate in the Spoon experience. And to folks like Nelson and the crew, I can't commend them enough for the good work to do. You know, people like Nelson and others that were in a different part of the world. It was where you were sitting, Conor Gray. You know the kind of money they'll pay a young a man like Nelson who's good at what he's doing. But they're holding it down because we all can't leave the country, you know, so they're holding it down, doing a good job. So I want to commend them. I want to commend all of the Spoon folks who do the hard work every day in Liberia. May God bless their efforts. Folks, we got 1 minute each. No, you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds just to your closing. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about a lot of interesting things, including Starlink in the schools. That's a great thing. Starlink technology is so critical to modern day education. But we don't tell you here the price tag that a government agency putting on the government to just put Starlink in some of our schools. We'll talk about that tomorrow and share our wisdom around that. But right now, let's close the show. Wilfred, let's start with you. Thanks for being here again tonight. Let's close. 30 seconds. Get your closing comment. It can be on anything. Unmute yourself.
Okay, please. Am I okay now? Am I okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the show. I'd like to say thanks to the panelists. And my favorite panelist tonight is Dr. Josh, Dr. Emmanuel Josh. Thank you very much. I just want to use my 30 seconds to reiterate to Dr. George. I had 6 years of my life to serve and work in government. I intend to use the same time in the private sector. I want to leverage my skill sets in the private sector to have a sort of an equilibrium. I know it's very easy for you to second guess that, oh, the man is running behind government job. I came from the richest political party in Liberia today. The CMC political leader is the richest man. I mean, he's made these comments on radio, and you know that. I came from a party that is at the verge of buying 2 presidential jets. You know that he made these announcements. I walked away from those, privileges. Remaining there as Secretary General, I will be riding or flying first class in private jets. You know that. I could be sweet talking him, to get money if I wanted to. So I just wanted to, abundantly disabuse your mind of the concept or of the idea that, I wanted. Basically, my decision is really based on job. Of course, I'm qualified. I can work. I have skill sets as well. So, having said that, I thought that it was a great show. It's a great pleasure to be on this show tonight. I'm looking forward to a more engaging and interesting show tomorrow, where we can come and make our contribution to the national discourse. I want to say to I saw the comment of the Director General of LBS. He said I was confused. I just want to say that Fagon is my man, but the thing is that you have responsibility. You got to be clear in your communication instead of throwing rants and threats. You have lots of channels in government where you can seek redress when you have problems. If you got to come to the public, then you got to be very definitive and you got to be clear. Give us names. We want to know who are those people so that the public can take decision, because the government is of the people, for the people, and by the people. You cannot come in the public space and you speak in riddles, conundrums. When you do that, then of course we do not know where to start from. So I just want to encourage you to be very clear next time. Thank you very much once again. It was a great pleasure joining you on the show. I'm looking forward to a more engaging show tomorrow. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Fubi, let's close.
Yeah, so Mr. Fagon, if you overperforming, keep performing and stop causing noise. Your performance will speak for you. So no need to make noise, just keep performing. So we look forward to seeing you there. And like I said, look, the Supreme Court, the legislature, the executive, the three branches, they have distinct roles. They have authorities that cannot be usurped by others. And the issue about that VP made, VP should also know that the the legislature has quasi-judicial function. Their proceedings don't take place in the courthouse. And that should tell you, they don't go to the courthouse to impeach the president. They don't go to the courthouse to impeach the chief justice. And when the chief justice is being impeached, no member of the judiciary sits on that case. The presiding officer of that case is the vice president. Then the senators go through and do their voting. So that should tell you that there's limitations to the power of the Supreme Court. When the due process that is being required by the House to execute, that due process is executed by the legislator themselves. It's not taken to court. So you should understand that as a power that the legislature has, that the Supreme Court cannot overrule, cannot override, and cannot overturn. So due process, you will say, okay, take the man to court. But no, the courthouse, the judges on that bench, the jurors on that bench, or that case, are the legislators themselves. They will investigate you and they will charge you guilty or not guilty, or remove you or not remove you. They have that right. They don't have an independent judge that coming to preside over that due process that they're requesting. They themselves will execute that. So that should tell you the power that they have. And we in Liberia, we don't understand the power of the legislature, and that's the reason why we keep voting the way we vote. If you understand the power the legislators have, you will not just vote because for a cup of red and t-shirt. You will vote with sense, because that's the powerhouse of the country. They can shut the government down, and the president cannot do anything about that. And they can call the government to move. So you cannot real condition more. Thank you.
Dr. George, let's hear you, and then Colonel Raymond Gray will take us home.
Yes, I want to thank, let me just thank our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, television, and Vera radio station for spending your time listening to us this evening. We've been on this air for 3 hours and 33 minutes now. So we appreciate you. I appreciate all the criticism and all the comments. It's nice to listen, to read them. And it's also energetic too. It energizes us and motivates us. To the point this evening, we started a conversation around the president's remarks. I believe, in my opinion, that the president should have used that opportunity to motivate the Liberian people. His response seems to be what we call in Liberia a "I don't care" response. And fortunately for the president, before the reporter could start a follow-up section of questions, his handlers were smart enough to move him from the room. When it comes to the issue of Yeke, freedom of speech is protected on our laws. Many of you may disagree, but what I clearly heard Yeke saying is from his research. Yeke could have been invited to a conference to share his research and his knowledge so that a member of the legislature could understand from which point he was speaking. But that is not what they are doing. Instead, they plan to expel him without even looking at what research he had. After all, when Councillor Kopwa was on this program yesterday, she shared that there are different documents, different treaties that have been signed by Liberia, the French, and the Guinean government along the line. And as we speak, the Guinean soldiers are still at our border, and there's no government official stance on that issue yet as to whether we are at war, whether we are in a situation of conflict, or whether there's an incursion on our territory. So why are you investigating Yeke when our government have not made any official stance? He's speaking from his research. And I think the wise thing and the right thing to have, that we could have done was to invite him to his conference to share his research. And we may have agreed and disagree with him in that conversation. When it comes to the issue of the Supreme Court, I believe the Supreme Court has the right to invite for a conference. It's a conference. It's not a hearing. The Supreme Court may guide the legislature in this process and give them the best way to go around this thing. Someone petitioned them, and that is the reason why the Supreme Court got involved. The members of the Supreme Court did not wake up overnight to invite members of the legislature to the Supreme Court. Someone may have or should have taken the case to them. Finally, to our dear friend and brother, former panelist, and still a panelist of Spoon Talk, the Honorable Eugene Fagon, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for sharing your frustration. But as they say, and you know that heavy is the crown, heavy is the head rather, that wears the crown. When we decide to put our hands up to take up leadership, it comes with challenges. And there are others who are just standing by, trying to pull us down. But it's our duty as leaders to be strong, to find monies where we can find them, to lobby, to have interaction overnight and in a day, to go for lunch, dinner, and a glass of drink, whatsoever drink you drink, like orange juice, which is nice to drink, and have that conversation. I don't think it's the right policy for government leaders to come to the public to air the dirty lending of what is happening within their entity, of even in government circles. But thank you all for a wonderful night. I appreciate your time on air. You all have a wonderful evening. I look forward to this conversation tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. George. Colonel Gray, please take us home.
You know, Doc, the actions by Yeke reminds me of Lucifer. You more a clergy person than I do. Reminds me of Lucifer, who stood by the side of God and he created everything, including man. And after that, he started undermining the power of God, as you know, as accounted for in a book I read, Paradise Lost. You know, and for every time Yeke makes somebody, he goes the opposite lane to start undo that individual. That strategy has worked for him in his endeavor as a member of our parliament. But it's becoming archaically, unnecessary to create to just bid on what you probably have created. And it may have worked, but right now I think it's a danger. It's working against him. They didn't say Yeke violated anything. They just say he's violated the rules. It's left for us. Some people say he committed treason. Some people say he did this, he did that. The House they make it simple. He has violated our rules, our standing rules. It's like your home. You did that. When you tell your children if they violate this rule, they get kicked out of the house. You don't have to go to a court to enforce that. That's the standard that exists in your home. That's how this is. Running to the Supreme Court, running to the courts to enforce the rule that you agree upon when you came in there as a member. I don't, that's the wisdom I don't get. The fact about the matter is, Yeke has violated. If he has, I believe he has human right, like anybody else. But he first agreed to a set of rules. If you violate that rule, of course, they have to enforce the rule. Nobody has to come in to tell them how to enforce their rule. Some people are mistaking due process to mean court proceeding. Due process is that we have a set of rules you live by. If you don't abide by that, hey, you're reprimanded for not abiding by the rules you agreed to early on. So I can see where the House don't owe anybody an obligation to come and enforce their rule that they agreed upon as a body in governance. And I hope we'll stay away from this idea that when you make somebody, you can go to work and try to undo them. Sometimes, I don't see the reason why people like Yeke exist as a lawmaker. Look, District 10, it's a big district. You got a lot of things to do now that they're not productive because they have one lawmaker who thinks in order to be in our house, you have to be extremely controversial, disruptive, and so on and so forth. He violated a rule. I can't wait to see him go. And let him go and let him bring somebody very productive that'll make District 10 a very viable community in our political mainstream. Otherwise, we'll just see this as another noise-making situation. But Doc, it was a great show. I do agree.
Thank you, Colonel Gray, and thank you to all who listen, all who join us, all our panelists. A special thanks to Nelson for holding it down, the studio and the Spoon support staff. We appreciate all of you. We're signing off now, and then tomorrow, same time, same place, same stations. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night from Spoon Talk.
Well, thanks a
Nelson,
lot
take
to
it
you,
over.
Dr. Bobler. Thanks a lot to you for holding the ground today and making sure that the show goes on. Thanks to you, Chief Fubi Henrys, and Colonel Remy Gray. We want to say thanks as well.
Hey, there's something, all the CNC putting out today because we're breaking on.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Well, to our audience, we want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a good show. We appreciate all of you for being on here tonight. Spoon Talk has been across the Spoon Network on Spoon 107.5 FM, on Fabric Radio 101.1, and on Super 95.5 FM. We want to say thanks to the Voice of Liberia as well for relaying the program on 104.1 and across their different frequencies across the country. And many thanks to our online audience as well. I want to say thanks to all of you online across Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV who have been following the show tonight, sharing your thoughts, engaging in the comment section. We appreciate you a whole lot for making sure you can contribute to the show tonight. And thanks to our YouTube audience, we appreciate you as well. Spoon Talk Live is our YouTube handle. You can kindly go to YouTube, search Spoon Talk Live, and subscribe to our YouTube handle. And we want to say thanks for always being here. I'm Nelson Colette, but just before going, let me do a special greeting for Mr. Philip Bala. Yes, he's an ardent follower of Spoon Talk. Mr. Bala and his wife, Mema Bala, Mrs. Mema Bala, you both are there in Pennsylvania. You celebrated your your wedding anniversary on the 13th of April. We want to say happy anniversary to you both as you begin another year of being together. That's you, Philip Bala, Mr. Philip Bala, and Mrs. Mema Bala. Both of you there in Pennsylvania and the USA. Happy wedding anniversary to you, and we wish you all the best. We appreciate you for always following Spoon Talk, sharing your thoughts in the comment, engaging. We celebrate with you as well. And also, let me do a belated birthday greeting as well for my dear sister, Mrs. Fatoumata J. Masali. You there in Staten Island, New York. You celebrated your birthday on the 14th. Happy belated birthday to you. We wish you all the best as you celebrate your special day. Happy belated birthday to you. And I want to say thanks to all of you joining us here tonight. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, another edition of Spoon Talk. Until then, Joseph Kai, Philip Bala, Telvin Payne, Lila Era, Passcode, Aloysius Tante, and Nathaniel K. Hill, Saturday Yalate, Mr. Yalate. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight, and we look forward to another Spoon Talk tomorrow. Come back for another great show. Bye for now.
Yes, I, a special one. The CEO is stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, on the food to get your information. To the food to be part of the smooth television. Smooth